Yo, what's up? Y'all know what time it is, man. This ain't just hype, man. It's red alert. Finna bring it to you unfiltered and cut. You know what I mean? Time to sound the alarms. Get ready to lunch. Right after this.
Red alert, red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding.
Oh, Mike. Mike. All right. You know what I mean? We back. We back at it. Gonna get it in a little bit. I just want to bring a couple things to y'all attention. Obviously, I'm doing a couple of sound checks. If anybody pull up in the chat, drop ones if it sound good, drop twos if I am echoing. All right. Now this how we gonna do it today. I just got a couple things I want to get off my chest, so I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. But this is where I'm at with mine. There is a particular term for those of y'all who looked at the title where you came in. There's a particular phrase that's being repeat, 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 and it's starting to get a little bit annoying. Not that I have a problem with people who are not creative enough to, you know, kind of express themselves without using certain rhetoric, but this particular idea of a guy that you can just roll out the ball and he can get a bucket is just starting to annoy me so much. It's really starting to just it's starting to eat away at the essence of who I am. Now you might say, man, EF on a rant. I am. I really accept that. I accept. I'm gonna eat that one. I am 100% on a rant. The reason why I'm on a rant is because it's almost giving this feeling of, you know, when you need a bucket, this is what you're supposed to do. Roll the ball out and tell somebody, hey, go get me a bucket. Let me tell you how I feel about that. If I'm Kevin Durant, I know I can go get a bucket. I know I can go make a shot. I know, but it's not as easy as roll the ball out and go make a shot. How about you run some of these niggas around in some circles or something, and then I'll go score the basketball. Then I'll go shoot this jump. I'll shoot this hezzy pull up in somebody's face. It's not just gonna be, look, let me tell you what it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be cool to just keep saying they got a guy, you can roll the ball out, he can get a bucket. Because ultimately, everybody can do that. Everybody that plays basketball in the NBA can get you a bucket if you roll the ball out. I mean, it's so cliche at this point. I mean, it's mad cliche. It's dumb cliche right now. It's so bonkers to keep saying that over and over and over again. Not that I don't get the idea of it. It's just that I don't like hearing it over and over again as if that's it's like it's just the new hot thing to say. I mean, is that what you cooking up? Like, you spend all day thinking of what you're going to say about the Houston Rockets. And what you want to say is roll out the ball and get you a bucket. That's what you got to say about Kevin Durant. Roll out the ball and get you a bucket. Well, I'm going to go over a couple of things that we should be incorporating into the Kevin Durant narrative. Mind you, I have been on the record for saying I'm skeptical and leery about hurt players. Sue me. Not literally, don't sue me. This ain't no slander. But I mean, I lived through the Tracy McGrady, I mean, era. You know, I also grew up in the era where people was playing 82 games. I also got very used, very comfortable with James Harden playing every game. I got very comfortable with that, which which to me, his playing every game was one of his most likable qualities. You know, not just the nosebleed dunks and whatever, but I'm gonna get to that. I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later. Let's go over a couple of things that we can say about Kevin Durant. And like I said, you know, I'm not gonna keep you too long. But let's go through some of these things. Here's one. Kevin Durant can fit seamlessly in an offense where he doesn't initiate the offense. They really needed a guy who can fit seamlessly into the offense of the Houston Rockets, even if the best offense doesn't require him to initiate it. Why is that important? Because I, like the rest of the Houston, you know, Houston Nation, Rockets Nation, as you might want to call it, have been on the record of feeling like our point guard play is at sometimes, or should I say, it at sometimes leaves a lot to be desired. 100%. Not that I'm taking away from the consistency and the professionalism of a Fred Van Vliet. I do feel like he could be a better shooter because obviously I have seen him have better shooting games. And I do feel like sometimes he had the tendency to look off Jalen Green. And I know, me and King had a little back and forth about that. I seen him look off Jalen Green a couple times. That's just me. But I've also felt like the offense should run through Alperen Sengun. It's just it's just my preference at this time. Not because I feel like Alperen Sengun is better than KD. Or I just like the way the offense flows when you got a big man that can pass the ball. Because if you don't double team him and he's a big man that can really put pressure on the rim, that's an easy bucket. And when you do double team him, you're bringing in a tall defender who's going to have to, you know, for one, if he's in the high post, you're going to have to bring that rim protector out. So that means the guys who have to get to the basket have a little less, resistance at the rim. So if the offense runs through Alperen Sengun and Kevin Durant is catching the ball after the initial action, Kevin Durant can still be hella effective. How do we know? Because we saw him do it in Golden State. Well, the offense was really running through Draymond a lot. And yeah, KD would get the ball in his spot, but the offense, the main source of the offense was running through Draymond a lot of times. And Kevin Durant was still hella effective and hella efficient. Here's another thing that could be said about Kevin Durant. That Not only can he, be effective in an offense and fit seamlessly when the offense doesn't run through him, but he can impact the way an offense runs just from his presence on the floor. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that in the playoff, guys loaded up on Jalen Green and impacted the way the whole damn construction of the offense looked. Whereas if you have Kevin Durant, you can't just load up on one person and affect the way the whole offense look. So here's something you can say about Kevin Durant besides if you roll out the ball, he can get a bucket. You can say Kevin Durant's impact on the floor, just for being on the floor, makes your offense better and it will affect the way your offense is ran just from him being there. It'll make your offense run more fluidly. How about that? How about that? Let me give you another one. The Houston Rockets got a guy that not only will score efficiently, but he'll do little things also in the flow of the game that impact winning. How about that? How about that? Kevin Durant having the length that he has will take up space on the floor that makes passing angles difficult, make you have to adjust the way you pass the ball because he's going to be in passing lanes just from having his arms there. So you're going to have to adjust the way you pass the ball just from him being on the floor. And that's going to impact defensively the way that the defense operates. And that's going to also affect transition offense. So the little things, rebounds, doesn't get a lot of rebounds. I think 5 rebounds a game is good, you know, and we don't know if that'll go up. We don't know if that'll go up in rebounds this year, but he's going to do the little things that impact winning. I think that's an important thing you can say about Kevin Durant. Let's see what else you can say about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant would instill confidence in the guys on the floor that leads them into a place to where they feel like every night they have a chance to win. Now, this team started to feel like that anyway last year. But I think when Kevin Durant comes to your team, he instills a level of confidence that makes you feel like you have a chance to win, not just on the roll out the ball and get me a bucket, but in the confines of the offense, spacing the floor, in the mental aspect of the game. He can tell you what he's looking at, what the defense is going to be doing. That basketball IQ is going to be important. So these are just a few things. And yeah, I can go down the line about his ability to protect the rim, his ability to block shots and things like that. That's all good and great. I didn't go that far, but I just think these are a few things that could be said about Kevin Durant, other than just roll out the ball and get a bucket. You know, let's start putting a little bit of, let's start putting a little bit of substance to what Kevin Durant brings to the team. Now, that being said, how do I ultimately feel about the Kevin Durant trade from as of right now? Well, I feel like the things that I just listed makes the Houston Rockets the best team in the West. I'm not gonna just say that Oklahoma City is the best team in the West because they won the championship. I don't necessarily agree with the notion where they won last year and they did such and such a blah 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 blah. So we have to give them automatically the leeway because they the champions and until somebody beat them. That's to me, that's poppycock. That's poppycock. I'm gonna look at the team and I'm gonna say How do we match up against them right now today? All things being considered, everybody healthy. How do we match up against OKC? I don't feel like OKC has an advantage over our team. I honestly feel like if 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 we don't have a slight advantage, I think if we don't hedge them out, I think we at least even with them. I think we are at least even with OKC. Let me tell you why. I like Alperen Şengün over Jalen Williams. Now, notice what I just said. I think Alperen Şengün is going to be more valuable to the Houston Rockets than Jalen Williams can be to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm not even looking at Shea versus KD. And the reason I'm not worried about Shea versus KD because they got Lou Dort or whatever his name is that's going to be holding KD. We got Armin that's going to be holding Shea a lot of times. And I want to say that that's going to balance out. I want to say that Kevin Durant and Shea being held by the two best perimeter defenders, respectively, in the NBA, are going to balance out. The next person down, Jalen Williams versus Alfred Şengün, I'm going to take LP over Jalen Williams. That's just me. I'm going to take LP over Jalen Williams. I like him. I like him. He was an all-star, plays big defense. He get busy in the post. He ain't scared of nobody, you know. And I just think he's going to get a bigger, he's going to have a better game against Chet than Jalen Williams is going to have against whoever is holding him. I mean, obviously we're gonna be throwing bodies at him. You know, it'll probably be, Fred VanVleet at first, and then, we'll be switching Tari and Dorian Finney-Smith onto him at times, whatever the case may be. But I like LP over Jalen Williams. I think LP is gonna get better, he's gonna get the better of Chet more than Jalen Williams is gonna get the better of whoever it is he is going up against. That's just my view on it. And when it come down to Chet, what, 19 points? The only thing you got to worry about Chet is like 4 or 5 blocks. He pull up and get you 4 or 5 blocks. But we neutralize Chet. We neutralize Chet because we got Jabari, and Jabari's going to make plays that neutralize Chet. Also, not only that, when it comes down to the rebounds and stuff like that, I just think we have the better team. We got Steve-O. I don't think that nobody on their team is going to be, that's going to be able to deal with Steven Adams. Period. It ain't no Isaiah Hardenstein or none of that. Then you got guys like Caruso who step up and play big, and we got guys that'll step up and play big. And all that stuff will start to balance out. But I think the 1, 2, and 3, Shea, Jalen, Chet, against our 1, 2, 3, KD, Alprin, Armin. I just think I like our 1, 2, 3 better. And our team is just as deep as theirs, if not deeper. And I think our top half of our guys are just better than the top half of their guys. Because when you go to our center with Steve-O, you go to Dorian Finney-Smith versus whoever, Lou Dort, you look at, Clint Capella, you still got Torrey Eason coming. You know, we got shooters, we got Reshepard if he get hot. So I just think we have a better team than OKC right now. That's just period. I don't think I'm wrong for saying that. And I'm not just saying it because I'm a Rockets fan, because here's the thing. I do think there are teams that we don't match up with as well. I'll give you one. I think we just have problems with Golden State. I just think we have problems with Golden State. They got a bunch of quick guys, bunch of little guys, and you know, our coach versus their coach, and we have seen, the whole Curry phenomenon just be better than, and it's not just Curry by itself, but we've seen Curry and Steve Kerr just get the better of the guys around them. Just get the better of our team. So that's one of the things that I worry about as well. Now, so if you put one and one together and you say you know, who's who's the better team out of OKC and Houston, I'm gonna go with Houston. I'm gonna pick Houston. I'm gonna say that Houston is better than OKC right now today. No injuries, no nothing. First game of the season. If we play OKC, we win that game. Also, let me get this out the way. I have no concern. I have no concern about the LA Clippers. I don't know where all this LA Clippers love come from, but I have no LA Clippers. I mean, I like Zubac. I've always liked Zubac, and I still like James. I still like James. I've always liked James. I'm never gonna stop liking James as a player. He's always gonna be, you know, one of my um most uh favorite players that I was ever entertained by. I mean, he's right up there somewhere in the top of the players that entertain. But I'm just not saying that. I'm not scared of the Clippers this year. People are giving the Clippers too much love because they got Bradley Beal and Chris Paul. I'm like, they got Bradley Beal and Chris Paul, bro. It's not like they got LaMelo Ball and Devin Booker. You know what I mean? They got Chris Paul and Bradley Beal. You basically, I mean, for one, you basically put two people. But this is what you did. You got James Harden. James Harden is Chris Paul and Bradley Beal combined. He's both of them. And so you brought two pieces of James Harden separately and put them on a team and was like, okay, Bradley Beal is going to be the shooting guard version of James Harden. And Chris Paul, you're going to come off the bench as the point guard version of James Harden. But you got James Harden who can pretty much play. So, I mean, no, I'm not shocked by the Clippers, and I'm not giving them no reverence or nothing like that. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the Clippers is just another team that's um that's not going to be able to live up to the hype. They just another team that's hype that Vegas is going to use as a way to you know to kind of throw muddy the water. But Vegas just gonna use them to muddy the water a little bit, and I don't think that's gonna be much. Okay, so here we are. 55.3 wins. Was it 55.3 or 55.5? I think the odds came out. Um, one of the betting sites, I'm not gonna call their name out, but one of the betting sites said had the Rockets at 55 wins this season. Um, as far as the betting thing, would you take the over and the under? And here's my take on that. In order for us to be the second seed, we would have to be right there or over. You know, we would probably have to be right around 55, between 54 and 56 to be the second seed. And in order for us to really, really, really be, you know, clear the path for us to get to the finals, we kind of need to be in that first or second seed. And I don't, you know, I don't think there's nothing that can stop us from being in the first or second seed other than injuries and kind of retooling as we go because obviously we retool, we got new player, we don't have the continuity, we don't have the the chemistry that we had before. Whereas a lot of what we did last year was based off of chemistry. It was based off of guys who knew their role. They knew, we kind of knew when Jalen was gonna get hot. Like if you've been watching, you knew that the end of the year Jalen was gonna come on strong. You know what I mean? We kind of knew, that Barr was gonna come out to a little slow start shooting the ball, and he would pick up later on in the season. And so a lot of that we did last year was a lot of chemistry based. And so I have a little problem with how we're gonna start off the year, but at the same time, I think it could be one of those things where the confidence and the expectations are so high that we just come out on a torture. We could just come out torching right out the gate. And if we came out just fresh out the gate, torching and got off to a good run, number two seed, maybe even a number one seed is possible. I'm not gonna call it right now. But the reason why I'm not gonna call it is because of injuries, just flat out. You know what I mean? I think at some point, even if people are not hurt, Ime's gonna have to, hey, such and such is hurt. Such and such is hurt. We need to get him a rest. And it's gonna be a rotation of players that get hurt at certain times when we get our footing and we come out and we playing, you're gonna see players that end up getting hurt. And it's probably not gonna be like real injuries. It might be like, somebody got hurt and they not really hurt, but they're gonna be out for 2 weeks, which is 4 games. 2 weeks is like 4 games, you know, between 4 and 6 games in 2 weeks. So if you see a player get hurt and he out for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, probably not a real injury, but it'll give them a little 2 week rest, you know, in order to keep guys from being too tired down the stretch and putting too much stress on old bones or whatever, whatever the case may be. And I think that can be a thing that keeps us from hitting the one seed or the second seed or whatever. I don't think if we was to drop down and be around the let's say we drop down and we're somewhere around the fourth seed. If we get somewhere and we somewhere around the fourth seed, I wouldn't cry about it. I wouldn't cry being around the fourth seed. You know, um, I do think it would help us to have home court advantage because we all know if you go into the H, we all know the kind of pressure it puts on that other team to be in Houston with all that work down there and all the little jump off spots. And we at home and what I'm saying, we get home cooked meals. They got to be at the hotel. They got jump offs coming through, and it could really be pressure on you. Now, if we don't have the home court and we got to go to places, it's not the biggest problem, as big of a problem for us as it is for somebody who come to our place. Like if we have to go to LA, maybe. But if you think about it, if you say what towns in the West that if you leave Houston and you go to that town, you're gonna be caught up in street life or nightlife. LA, that's it. That's it. That's the only one. That's the only one. Maybe New Orleans. That's the only two. But you're not going to Memphis and being like, I'm getting outside. Or you're not going to San Francisco and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be outside tonight. You're not gonna go to Denver and be like, yeah, let me take my respirator and my asthma pump. I'm gonna go hit these streets. It's nowhere that you're really gonna be in to worry about the playoffs to where you're gonna have to worry about being out in the streets. Oklahoma City, no. I mean, no. The only place that's really like that on the West that you really gonna be like, if you on the West Coast and you in this place, you gonna probably hit the streets is Houston, Atlanta, and LA. And those are the three places. But obviously, obviously Atlanta is on the east. So you don't have to worry about Atlanta. But those are the three places to where, you would be like, you know, it might be trouble if you out late at night. And for teams have to come to Houston and deal with that on a nightly basis in the playoffs, I think that's an advantage for us. So having a home court advantage is not just only about the people that's going to be in the arena, is what goes on outside of the arena as well. And that's going to be for my likings, that will put pressure on young teams like, OKC or whatever the case may be. And obviously, they some young clean cut guys, but not everybody. And then they got some regular people on their roster too that you might can, some of them guys might be out in the streets. Okay. Now, now that I kind of got some of that out the way, we talked about Kevin Durant and about rolling out the ball and getting the bucket. Whereas I don't think we need to say that every single time we talk about Kevin Durant. I don't see why the media continuously says that one thing about Kevin Durant instead of some of the other stuff. And if you're gonna say, you know, they got a guy who can score at different points. So if you're gonna say it, then let's I would it would be more entertaining to me if you said they got a guy who in key points of the game can take over the game and score the basketball. They got a guy who key points of the game can put the ball in the hoop no matter what the circumstances is. They got a guy who, you know, end of the shot clock, you can count on to get an efficient shot up. It's other things you can say besides roll out the ball and get a bucket. What that does to me is it takes a lot of onus, a lot of accountability off Ime. It is just saying, you know, Ime just got to roll out the ball. When the ball roll out, Ime can just throw his hands up, and Kevin Durant gonna do the rest. They got a guy. If Ime can't dial nothing up, you can just roll the ball out, and Kevin Durant is right there. He get you a bucket. Because in the playoff, everybody know everybody plays. You just need a guy you can roll out the ball and get a bucket. Well, that ain't what Steve Kerr was doing. That ain't what Steve Kerr was doing. They got Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Buckets. He is the give me the ball, get out the way, and I can score the basketball. I can get in the paint and you know, get to my spots, and I can put the ball in the hoop very easily. But it was no roll out the ball and get a bucket in Golden State. And as far as I'm concerned, roll out the ball and get a bucket. We can't just make that Kevin Durant's new name. We can't just call Kevin Durant roll out the ball and get a bucket. We have to give him more credit to him and to Ime. The other thing is, I do think we are better, if not better, just as good as Oklahoma City Thunder. We got to be 1A and 1B. I don't think they're better than us just because they won a championship. The past is the past. We not looking back at the past. We talking about right now today. We talking about right now today as it sits. Who's the better team? KD, LP, and Amin, Shea, Jalen, Chet. I'm going with KD, LP, and Amin. I'm going with the Turkish League MVP. I'm going with the one who won an MVP in the US, and I'm going with the up and coming, where they say, probably one of the most athletic guys, top 2 or 3 athletic guys in the league. That's who I'm going with. I'm going with that. Also, now that those two things out the way, I'm going to revisit uh, where I think teams are going to rank this year. Matter of fact, I can run that down to you. I think it would be. Do I think OKC will be the first seed? Is the question. I will give them the first seed because I think we're going to sit guys. And the second seed, I'm going to give it to us. Then I'm going to say, you know what? I'm actually going to get a second seed to LA. Then I'm going to get a third seed to the Rockets. Then the fourth seed will be Denver. Fifth seed will be the fifth seed will be can I say Golden State? Fifth seed will be Golden State. Sixth seed, New Orleans. Seventh seed, San Antonio. No. Fifth seed, Golden State. Sixth seed, Dallas. Seventh seed, San Antonio. And eighth seed will be New Orleans. I'll do it like that. Okay. Something like that. Now, checking out the Jabbar Smith Jr. Interview. I was checking out the Jabbar Smith Jr. interview. He sat down with somebody. I don't even know who the guy was. And they were just asking him some questions about working with KD and things of that nature. Um, to be honest, you know, not a bunch of there. Not a bunch of there. They asked him a question that did stick out. They asked him, what, you know, like what do you work on in the off seasons to get better at? And they asked Jabbar, they were like, what do you work on in the off season to get better? And he was like, just pretty much everything. Like, what? You work on everything in the off season to get better? Like nothing? I mean, you don't feel like it's nothing that you need to be banging away at in order to take the next leap? And it kind of, you know, he kind of shed some light on the situation because from what he was saying that, you know, he works hard at everything in bulk, just, you know, works to get better at everything. And he really polishes up, you know, on the things that they brought him there to do. The things that he know he's going to be doing this year, he tries to keep that polished, but he works on everything. It's not like he was saying, "Hey, I'm really trying to improve my dribbler," which is exactly what, you know, the average Houston Rocket fan would say. The average Houston Rocket fan would say, "Buddy, you know, buddy, what's up with your, you know, I mean, you 20, how old is he? 21, 20, 21, 22 years old right now. He came in the league at 18, 19, 20, 21. They're 21 years old. And I mean, if you was working on your dribbling hard, pause, for these past 4 years, and you continue to do that for the next 4 years, you know, you might could be a consistent ball handler. But I get it that he says, you know, he works on it. I mean, basically what he's saying is he works on it, but it's not like he's just pushing himself for improvement in just that one area because he knows it's important. His mind frame is I'm working on the full complete game very hard in the off season, and I'm really honing in on, you know, shooting, doing the things that is my job to do, which is probably play hard nose defense and shoot the ball. Which, hey, if that's what works for you, get that in, because you know, you the one making the bread, not me. They asked him about Kevin Durant, about his work ethics and working out with him and stuff like that. And he said the same thing he always say, that, you know, everybody say he work out at game speed, you know, and that when you see him work out that way, you obviously kind of get drawn into it and you start to work out the same way. Okay. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really hear nothing that was like mind blowing that he talked about. He did talk about Armin's athletic ability, and he was, you know, like he said that Armin Thompson is probably the most athletic person in the league. You know, like he said, like all things considered, strength, speed, um, you know, quickness on the jump, jumping ability, you know, all that stuff, everything considered. He was like, Armin Thompson is probably there's nobody that can do what he does in the league the way that he does it. And that's high praise. I mean, obviously he's your teammate, so he's supposed to gas you, supposed to glaze you a little bit. But I mean, it's pretty well known that a lot of people are feeling like Armin Thompson is that boy. And with his, you know, with his IQ and his work ethic and stuff like that, he has great potential. That being said, I'm gonna transition right over into the Armin Thompson topic. Um, I have talked about Armin a few times in the past couple of shows, so I'm not gonna stay on it too long. But I just wanted to say this. I just wanted to say this. for people who are being fanatics. It's only been, bro. I mean, the season was just over 3 months ago. If you think Amin suddenly learned how to shoot or dribble in 3 months, you're not being realistic, bro. He worked all last year. He got better up until the end of last year. He made a big jump, and we saw a big jump him going into the playoff. He's going to come out this year in training camp, and he's going to get a little bit better in training camp with his confidence, and he's going to continue to grow throughout the year. And he's working in the off season, but I seen him play in the open run, and I'm just gonna tell you. I'm just gonna tell you. I saw the boy turn the ball over. Listen, this ain't no Armin Thompson hate, man. I'm the one that said Armin Thompson is on his way to probably being a top three, 2 or 3 greatest rocket ever. I said that. He's if he at the trajectory he's going, he's on his way to be a number 2 or 3 greatest rocket ever. But I did see Armin Thompson in the open run lose the ball with nobody trying to D him up. He just turned, got the ball, started dribbling, and the ball was gone. Ain't no defense really being played out here. But this professional basketball player lost the ball. This is not point guard type stuff. This is not point guard type stuff that he does. I just want y'all to know that. Point forward, absolutely. Scottie Pippen, absolutely. Magic Johnson, not at all. Penny Hardaway, not at all. Not at all. But Scottie Pippen, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sean Marion, oh yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. 100% Sean Marion, Scottie Pippen. Any of that. I give him any of that. Easy. Easy work, Sean Marion. Um, but not a point guard. He's just not a point guard, bro. I hope y'all don't think I'm being hard on him. Like I said, I'm a big Armin fan. You know, he's just not a point guard at this time. He can he dribble the ball down the court? Yeah, I'm not saying that he's gonna lose the ball every time he dribble you know like we used to see somebody used to be dribbling the ball and it just seemed like they was gonna lose it every time they dribbled it. It's not like that. It's not like that. I'm just saying that you know he doesn't have the best handles, bro, in the world. Can he use his speed and his athleticism to just blow by people to where they can't even D him up? Yeah, he can. He can just dribble the ball down real fast and get by you to where you can't even D him up, to where it don't even matter. What his handles like. He throw the ball out in front of him and keep running with it till he get to the goal and dunk on. Yeah, he can do that. But if you have to chew bubble gum and walk backwards at the same time, I don't know, bro. He's just not a point guard. He's not a point guard. Can he be in the future? I mean, this is my thing. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna really tell y'all something. I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. Shout out to Chop Shop. You know what I mean? Obviously, shout out to the Chop Shop, man. Chop Shop gang, CSG, stand up. Shout out to Green Leaf Fluted, man. All the OGs in the space. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jackson Gavin. Not really a scorer like that. He's not a Clyde Drexler, Kobe Jordan. He's not really that. He's more of a point guard quickness that his speed allows him to score on people who he's more athletic than. So in my mind, I said Jalen in a perfect world would be a good point guard. Now, I got a bunch of flack and pushback because of that. And at the same time, I look around and some of these same guys, not Tank, you know what I'm saying, not Frank and not Ghost, but some of the same people that be on the podcast, you know, was saying, yeah, man, you crazy, man. Jalen can't be no point guard. And then they'll turn around and say, it can be a point guard. And I pull out my hair. I got a receiver hairline right now. Not a receding hairline. I got a receiver hairline right now from pulling out my hair because I don't understand why people think Armin can be a point guard and Jalen can't. Make it make sense. Because Armin's smarter than Jalen. They, Jalen is a better ball handler than Armin, bro. Armin's a better passer, maybe, maybe. Yet to be determined. Yet to be determined. Don't get me wrong. Did Armin have more assists? Yes. Did he have more possible potential assists than Jalen last year? No. Well, he didn't have more assists. He didn't have more potential assists, but it was so close at the rate of Armin at the rate that Armin played. Jalen should have been leaps and bounds ahead of Armin, but Armin was, you know, running the offense, and Jalen was supposed to be scoring the basketball. Armin was expected to pass the ball. Jalen was expected to shoot the ball. So it really don't balance out. But I just think in a perfect world, Jalen is a good point guard possibility option as Armin Thompson. Yet to be determined, we shall see. And I wish I might, that Armin has a better handle on the ball than he did last year, and that he has shown this offseason. Just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it a buck. When he was doing a little workout with Davion Mitchell, he was losing the ball. In the little open run, he was losing the ball. And you don't see NBA point guards just lose the ball. Let's just keep it a bean. You're not you're not looking at Jason Kidd ever and saying he's just gonna lose the ball. You're not looking at none of that. No, none of that. You're not looking at none of that and saying they're just gonna lose the ball. But Armin Thompson he will lose the ball. Just be dribbling and lose it. Is that to say that I don't think he can be an all-star this year? I do think he can be an all-star at the small forward position. At the small forward position. And we know he's going to be a shooting guard because they're not going to put KD at the shooting guard like real life, where Kevin Durant should be a shoot guard and Armin should be a small forward. It don't really matter. I would put Armin, obviously you want Armin at the guard so that way he can defend the guards. But um I just usually think guards are people who can handle the ball. I just usually feel like guards are better ball handlers than what Armin is. But I do think Armin to be he can be an all-star this year. I don't think he will be an all-star this year, to be honest. I don't think I'm gonna be an all-star this year because I think it's too many good guards in the West, you know, with Steph, with Ja, with Luca, with De'Aaron Fox, with Murray. That's six guards right off the bat. Did I say Curry? I said Steph, Luca, Ja, Murray, um, Fox, but Dame, man, he ain't gonna be there. He told something, so he probably ain't gonna be there. But that's six guards right there. Booker, Jalen, that's eight guards. That's eight guards right there. And if any one of Harper, Bailey, any one of these guys, Stephon Castle, if any one of these guys take a leap, oh Harden, that's nine guards. 8 or 9 guards right there. So Armin not going to be an all-star. He's not going to be an all-star at the guard position. The only way Armin would make a all-star game is if he was at the forward and Kevin Durant was at a forward and they was both at the forward because Kevin Durant's going to be an all-star regardless. So if Kevin Durant was a forward and Armin was a forward, let's say for example, they was gonna I don't even see how they could do it. But no, it just don't work. Armin's not gonna be an all-star this year. There's no way Armin could be. It's too many guards on the West for Armin to be an all-star. If Kevin Durant was listed at a shooting guard, if Kevin Durant was listed as a shooting guard, he would make all-star at a shooting guard position, and then maybe Armin could get in at the small forward position. But other than that, Armin's not making an all-star team. Now, will he have all-star impact? Yes. Armin would definitely have all-star impact. 100%. Defensively, offensively, and he might win defensive player of the year this year if Victor Wembanyama don't play the whole season. But I think defensive player of the year is going to be between Armin and Victor Wembanyama. Though it's going to be between Victor and Armin, but who's going to win defensive player of the year? And of course they'll have Draymond in there and all that stuff like that, just for show. But I think it's really going to come down to Armin Thompson and Victor Wembanyama. Um, tell me what you think about that, chat. Tell me, do you think Armin can win defensive player of the year? So, so I think definitely Armin will have impact. He'll have all-star level impact on the game. Not gonna be, point guard stuff like as far as future point guard and will he be a point guard and ball handling duties. He'll have ball handling duties, but to be honest, if I got KD on the court and I got Armin on the court, KD just bring the ball up. KD just bring the ball up. If I'm not gonna let Fred Van Vliet bring it up, and if I'm on a fast break, yeah, give it to Armin. If I'm on a fast break, give it to Armin. But if I have to run an offense, nah, just get about the KD, bro. Get about the KD, man. Get about the LP. LP is a better ball handler than Armin Thompson. Period. He's a better ball handler and a better passer, and probably a better shooter than Armin Thompson. So why would you have Armin, you know, facilitating and setting up the offense and whatnot when you got KD, you got Al Shango, and you got Fred VanVleet? Why would Armin be running the point guard at all? It don't even make sense. He should be small forward, shooting guard, and up, power forward or whatever. So that's just, I don't mean to rain on nobody parade, but if y'all think Armin is going to be a point guard or backup point guard or any of that stuff, that's just wishful thinking. That's just wishful thinking. Um, what else do we got? We got how do I feel about Al Shango this year? All star, definitely, definitely all star. I didn't feel like Alperen played as bad as some people felt like he played last year. You know, I felt like Alperen played big. Obviously, he put on some muscle. He got a little bit quicker. It affected his shot again. Last 2 years in a row, Alperen's shot has been affected by working out. First, he had a little bit better jumper, and he worked out. He got a little bit stronger, and he messed up his jumper. And this last year, he worked on his defense a lot. He didn't work on his offense, and it kind of affected um his low post game. It affected his shots around the basket. He just lost a lot of his touch, and it make me as you know, I wasn't as up in arms as I wasn't as feathery about it as some guys was. I didn't my feathers didn't flare up as much as some people did. I I kind of understand it. I kind of understand the process of how it works when you're working on something else and you just obviously because that's what Jabari was saying. Jabari was saying he work on everything so that something he don't lose something that he's supposed to have. But in Alperen's case, they needed him to make a monumental jump on defense. So whereas most of his life he was probably working on his offense and trying to be like Jokic and trying to work on these passes and these, scoring around the basket and stuff like that, like Joker, he worked on his defense a lot. and he took a step back offensively. Okay, that's cool. Got no problem with that. Now we want him to come back to old LP. And if I'm him, I'm just like, go back and watch your old clips. I don't think you need to do nothing except for go back and watch your old clips and be like, dang, I did that. I was crossing boys over on the on the 3 point line like that. I had to bang bang cross over, cross you over, and get to the step backs and then going to the goal and doing all this stuff. That's all LP got to do. All LP got to do is just sit back, watch some of his old clips, think about the stuff that he thought about when he came into the league, get back to doing some of that stuff again, and Albert Shangon is going to be okay. The dude is 20. How old is LP? 21, 22, 23? Albert Shangon is hella young, bro. Hella young. 23 years old. Already made an all-star game. Easily considered one of the best centers in the league right now. I mean, if you're 23 and you consider one of the best centers in the league, and it's not like Sabonis. When Sabonis got his flowers and people start considering him one of the best big men in the league, he was up in age and he was doing the work, but it wasn't nothing. It wasn't no flair to his game. It wasn't nothing entertaining about his game. It was like, oh yeah, he getting you 20 and 10. He good. He'll get you 8 assists. He good. But so what? It's boring. It's just boring watching Sabonis. Ain't nothing. Ain't no sauce to his game. Ain't no razzle dazzle to his game. Ain't nothing popping off. Nobody want to watch that. Nobody want to watch Arvita Sabonis Jr. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to watch Arvita Sabonis Jr., I'd rather go watch your daddy on TV. I'd rather put on an old video, the real Sabonis, and watch that. But we definitely need razzle dazzle. We definitely need razzle dazzle. 100%. 100%. If you don't got no flair to your game, then it's gonna be hard for me to, it's entertainment. Hold on, I think I got a little buzz or something in my mic. Let me see. Anyway, I don't know where that's coming from, but this is my point. My point is Alpha Shangoon is gonna be fine. Alpha Shangoon is gonna be all right. I don't think for the people who worried about, the way he played last. Okay, thank you, thank you. The way he played last year, the way he played last year is not a. It's not a. It don't really set me back. I'm not feeling like it's a big problem. I feel like it's okay. The only thing that I would like to see is more of the old LP, is more of the behind the back passes, trying stuff, making stuff work, being an entertainer. Are we not entertained? I need to see all that. I need to see all that. I need to see, you know, um, I need to see Gladiator LP. I want to see Gladiator LP. You know what I mean? I want the behind the back pass, between the leg pass, drop off, no looks, crossovers, all that stuff. Because like people say, well, we don't. He don't got to be fancy. And you don't have to be fancy. But when you can do it and it works, why not do it? And ain't that what basketball is? That's like saying, why don't you do the old school layup like the way they used to? Why don't you shoot your free throws underhand? If that's if it's more efficient to shoot the free throw underhand, why come people don't shoot it underhand? Because it looks whack. It looks better to shoot it the way we shoot it now. So so the idea of don't be trying to, you don't gotta look cute. No, that don't matter. Yes, you do gotta try to be cute. You gotta try to be cute, bro. You want it to look good. Because when people say you talk about the GOAT, it got a lot to do with the aesthetics. It got a lot to do with just the optics of it. It's not just all about you know, it's not just all about is the ball going in the basket. Very seldom do you have a Tim Duncan that was, turn this way, up, shoot the ball, middle of the square, the ball go in. Oh, he the greatest. You know, it was so boring They had to call him the big fundamental to make it, to keep it from just being boring. So they had to give him a name that accentuates how boring the game is. And if it wasn't for the name, the big fundamental, it would just be like that dude just Rick Smits. Tim Duncan is Rick Smits. Same person. So with that being said, Albert Shangoon being an all-star, yeah, I can see it. I can see LP as an all-star. Um, Not only do I think LP will be an all-star this year, I think the offense should run through LP. That's just for me. For me, the offense should run through LP, you know, with a little action with KD making a little move or whatever. And maybe some DHO stuff, whatever. And just let LP run the offense. It don't have to be and definitely not, getting the ball into Armin's hands a lot. But if he's moving along the baseline or if Armin is moving and KD, is spacing a little bit, that offense can be deadly. That offense can be deadly with the way Armin catches the ball and rises up, and KD being a spacer and just being able to really impact the gravity of a game from around the perimeter. The offense can really be dangerous, and that's what I'm looking to see this year as far as that goes. Fred VanVleet, I think Fred VanVleet, is Fred VanVleet. He's gonna do Fred VanVleet type stuff. Now, let's get to some of this stuff I want to talk about the Rockets, past Rockets, future Rockets, stuff like that. Do I think it's important that the do I think it's important that we really capitalize on this 3 years, 3, 4 years we have with Kevin Durant? I do. I do. I think it's important that as far as Kevin Durant goes, we have him. I think we're gonna have him for 3 years. If we have him for 3 years, we have to capitalize. And I think we need to win a championship for more than one reason. Because you don't want two dynasties to come on the backs of your Houston Rockets. Like you don't get to be the number 2 seed in the league in two different eras. In both times, the number one team is building a dynasty and you can't get over the hump. Actually, this would be like the third or fourth time this has happened to us. It would be like the third time because obviously we went through it with the Lakers when we had T Mac and Tracy McGrady, where we just couldn't get over the hump of beating the Lakers. They would just beat us, and we went through it kind of with the Sonics, but we end up getting our championships in that era, the Sonics and the Jazz. But now it's like the James Harden and the Golden State Warriors era. Never get over the hump, and now we back in OKC. You don't just want to be the resistance for the team that's building the dynasty, is what I'm saying. You don't just want to be the antagonist in the comic book, you know. So the hero can live out his hero's tale, the hero's journey, and you just the antagonist in the story. That's not, you don't want to just be that. You know what I mean? Like if that's your legacy, if your legacy is, hey, we're gonna always be the team that you know we just the resistance against a team that's going on to be the hero every year. Stop it. Stop it. Sell the team. Just sell the team. Sell the team. If that's what Timothy Fatina go settle for, sell it. Sell it. Get another owner up in here, man. Get another owner. If you're not trying to win, like right, if you're not trying to do everything it takes to win, it look like we are. And don't get me wrong, it look like we're doing everything we gotta win. But I don't want to. I can't. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with just being, you know, just the we just the bad guy in the movie every time, so the hero can beat us and go on to be the champion every time. Nah, I ain't with it. So we do need to be trying to win in this little space, this little time frame that we in while we got Kevin Durant. It's gonna be 1, 2 years, 3 years or whatever, and we get off a win, we get one of these championships early. Because if they think that Oklahoma City is going to be a dynasty, first of all, we haven't had no back-to-back championships. If they get it while we have this team, if they get a back-to-back championship while we have this team, I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that. Maybe they should lose this year and then get one next year. Okay, that's cool. But if they get one this year and we don't win next year, guess what that means? That means we're probably not gonna get one. Because best believe Anthony Edwards gonna get one sooner or later, Luca gonna get one sooner or later, or Wemby's gonna get one. One of these three players is gonna get a championship. Guess who don't have one of those top three stars? We don't. We did not have one of those top three stars. And let me tell you what else gonna happen. Listen, I'm talking to you now. They're gonna try to find a way to get Armin Thompson off the Rockets onto a team with somebody who they want to make the face of the league. They're gonna try to make Armin go to somebody's team where he can be the second best player on that team. And I think it's gonna be Minnesota. If I'm just saying, if I'm the league and I'm looking around and I'm trying to see how I can manipulate something, in my conspiracy theory, I would not doubt that they're trying to figure out a way to get Armin off Houston, break up Houston as fast as possible so Armin can go back up Anthony Edwards or Luca. Believe me. Believe that. Believe that. I got to do this. So, all right, all right. Um, Tari Eason, I'm a little worried about Tari Eason. A little worried about Tari Eason. I hope because here's the thing. I thought we had an 82 game a year person. I thought we had one of those Iron Man. Tari came in like the Iron Man, and he was just boom. He was that boy. He was never off the court, going crazy, lose balls, crackheading all over the place, zooming up and down the court, court brewing it, and then whatever he got, a little foot problem, knee problem, whatever it is, leg problem, something, and he just been hurt. He just been hurt for 2 years now, and problematic when we got hurt players. Like I said, I lived through the Yao Ming Tracy McGrady era, so it's bothersome to me when one of the main guys that you are building the the how do you say, not just the culture but the your image. You know what I mean? Your whole image of who you are is built around this kind of player, and that player is becoming a person that's injury prone or you know injury ridden. That's a problem. That's a problem. So I'm thinking that a lot of people are very high on Tari Eason. They like the way he play. He can get a bucket sometimes. He can hit the three. He at this point, you know, he one of our shooters with the most upside. You know what I mean? If you say, who do you want shooting the ball? You would say him or Armin, and you would say probably him over Armin, which is why I say that. Him over Tate, yeah, I take Tari over Tate too. Tari over Kogi, Tari over Kogi too. So, you know, that type of thing. Well, I feel like Tari can actually be um, a good player. I feel like he can be a good offensive player all around. Tari can be a good all around offensive player and a great defensive player. He just has to. I hope he don't have one of those like chronic things that just linger throughout his whole career. And he end up being like a Kawhi. That's like 40 games a year he gonna miss every year. Like I don't want that for Buddy, man. I don't want that for Buddy. Oh, Buddy is too talented to be like a Kawhi. To be like, oh, this guy's gonna be out of the game for, you know, He's going to be out from the team 30 games out of every year with injuries before the season even starts. He load managing throughout the whole season because he don't want his injury to flare up. I don't want that. And there was some stuff I was going to get into about, you know, about James Harden and Amin Thompson. Um, the position of second, third best player ever. How do I feel about Amin potential to go to that position and the third best player? Um, second best player, third best player. I don't think he'll ever reach first. I don't think he'll ever reach the greatest player ever, unless he is the bus driver, quote unquote, that brings us two championships or three championships in his career. And if that ever happens, then hey, we'll have to go back and revisit the Akeem Olajuwon conversation. But as of right now, he's so far away from being as good as Olajuwon. It's wishful thinking. It's just wishful thinking that somebody would ever be that valuable to the Rockets organization. Um, but I do think if he was to stay with the Rockets and end his career with the Rockets on the trajectory that he's going right now, I think Amin could reach the third best or the second best Rocket ever very easily. Very easily. I think his impact offensively um will be exponential. It will grow exponentially within the next 3 years. I think by year 6. You know, here's the problem. I know Rockets fans are gonna by the end of this year, they're gonna lose that that those like rose colored glasses that they have on about Armin, and they're gonna start judging him on a real life curve. They're really gonna stop saying, "Oh, his defense is so good and he's so athletic that he's so great." They're gonna start saying, "Then you got to make a shot. You got to take the shot. You got to make a shot. You got to take a shot." They're gonna get to that point with Amon soon. I probably won't. As long as his defense is great, his IQ is great. He's a good team player. He rebounds. He steals. He does all the little stuff. I will always like him the same. Like I said before, Rajon Rondo is one of my favorite point guards. Um, and we know Rondo, you know, 12 points a game score. You know what I mean? Like Rondo was averaging 12. That'll get you a 12-point triple double in the playoff too. That'll get you a win. And if Armin is that kind of player to where when he averaged 14, I bumped him up to 17 this year. If Armin goes down to 12 points a game and he averages 12, 10, and 7 and 2 steals and 2 blocks, I'm cool. I really have Armin Thompson pegged at 2 steals and 2 blocks this year, which is going to be absurd. If he gets 2 steals and 2 blocks and he don't win Defensive Player of the Year, I'm spazzing. I'm spaz. I'm off my meds. I'm gonna spaz. Um, so here we go. I think Armin Thompson could be, in the James Harden, you know, and whoever else you got ranked at the second best Rocket ever. Whoever is in the area, I think Armin Thompson could reach that level. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Um, we were supposed to have the debate tomorrow. I haven't gotten confirmation on whether or not King was going to be available for the debate tomorrow. So if I don't hear back from him on that, I will be rescheduling that. I'll go ahead and reschedule it to a different day, and we'll keep the rest of it as is. We'll keep the rest of the debates as is, and I'll just move them. I'll just rotate them until we get people lined up for those debates, and we'll roll it like that. Now, remember, like I said, we're trying to get good prizes. If everything works out, we'll have very good prizes for whoever wins the overall tournament. I'm thinking about doing it like this: boom, 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 boom. We run these debates this month, these debates next month, and then we'll take the winners, put them in a pile, and then like preseason time or something like that, we'll have a tournament with the winners, and then the win out of that will just get the prize. And I'll probably do like first, second, third, or something. It's just some what I'm thinking. So let me know what you think about that. Also, um, we talked about Reed Shepard in the summer league. Some of the the media heads was talking about Reed Shepard's impact on what they felt like his impact would be. One of the other things that I took away from the Jabari Smith interview that him and old buddy was talking about was how summer league doesn't really how it doesn't really matter. You know, like they were saying, Jabari had a bad summer league and had a pretty good rookie year, and the other dude was like, I had a great summer league, and I didn't play good for like 50 games. I didn't have a good game for like 50 games until I had a good game. So we Reed Shepard did this summer league. I don't take a lot from it. He did what I expected him to do, um, which is going to. I don't think it's going to tell us what we need to know about his readiness to contribute to this team going forward. I do think that going forward, whatever he's able to do, um, whatever he's able to do this year is going to impact his career overall. If he's able to step up and be a real live contributor to this team, it's going to set him up to have a good career. If he falls by the wayside, he's going to be a role player. So this is the year whether you're going to find out whether Reed Shepard is setting himself up to be an all-star or not. It's just, can you rise to the occasion? They got a lot riding on you. They pause. They got a lot invested in you, and they have hedged their bets that Reed Shepard can be an impact player on a team looking to win a championship or at least make it to the finals this year. Like, in all respects, the Houston Rockets feel like Western Conference Finals at the least. In the head office, in the coaching staff, in the stands, at home, we all have this general idea that it's us and OKC in the Western Conference Finals. If we don't, first of all, we have to avoid playing them in the early rounds. So we have to get there in that top 2 or 3 seed. You know, we have to get into that top 2 or 3 seed to avoid playing them in the early rounds. But we feel like we can get to the Western Conference Finals, and Reed Shepard, Reed Shepard's impact on this team, on a team that's looking to get that far, is a moment that's gonna solidify his career, or it's gonna be the tail of the tape on whether people are gonna start to look at him as a role player. You're either gonna be like a JJ Redick, no disrespect to JJ Redick, you know, Brent Price, no disrespect to Brent Price. Matt Maloney, disrespect to Matt Maloney. Just kidding, just kidding. Matt Maloney was okay. He was just old and slow. But you're either gonna be that role player, or you're gonna put yourself in the prime situation to say, guess what? This guy rose to the occasion when his team depended on him most in his second year. His second year, his team pushed all the chips in the middle of the table. GM came out, put pressure on him, said, hey, Reed Shepard's going to have to be very good for us, period. And Reed Shepard did just that in a year that they went to the Western Conference Finals. He was a large part of the reason they got there, or he was a large part of the reason they won a championship. It's all going to be, a lot of it is going to be contingent upon how Reed Shepard plays, and it's going to tell how his career is going to go forward. Mark my words. Whatever he does this year, you can mark the rest of his career based off of. And I'll give you one even better than that. Watch what he does in the middle part of the season. In the first part of the season, they might not even really give him a lot of burn. But you'll be able to know if he comes in with confidence. Check this out. If he comes in with confidence after the way he played in the summer league, that's good. Because that means he got that He got that real that they call like superstar amnesia type mentality. Yeah, that's just summer league. I had one big game, one good game. I missed some shots, but I played good. I played good defense. I'm gonna come in. I'm still gonna fight. If Reed Shepard come into the game in preseason and shoot the three like he never missed the three before, he'll be all right. If he come in and he looking skittish, if he looking like a cur dog, some of y'all don't even really know what a real cur dog is. But if he looking like a cur dog, then we got problems. When it's the first real game that he's in the season, and we need to get minutes from him, Fred VanVleet gets tired. Boom, they move Armin over to a position. We look down the bench. Dorian Finney-Smith already coming in the game. He coming out. Kevin Durant in the game. Okay, we got a perfect time right now where we can throw Reed in the game with Armin and KD and Dorian Finney-Smith and Steven Adams or somebody. Let's see if Reed Shepard can get some good shots. They throw Reed Shepard in the game. He checks in the game. He comes up. They DN him up. Boom. He throw the ball to Armin. Armin throw the ball to KD. KD gets double team. Reed Shepard gets the ball. If he passes the ball, he going back to the bench, and we might not see him. He might be back in the G League. If he fire that thing up and he shoot it, and he run down the court, and he looking at the coach like, yeah, I shot it. I know you thought I was gonna pass it. He might be okay. We'll be able to know that after the first game we see him. But in the middle of the season, if he's playing solid, if he's playing solid defense, he's gonna get beat because he's slow. But if he's playing solid defense and he's taking good shots with confidence, that means he's gonna be all right. That means he's gonna be all right. That means he's playing good in practice. He's showing confidence in the game. In the middle of the season, he getting you 9 points in the game. He playing efficient. Maybe 2 turnovers, 9 points, 2 turnovers, maybe one, 2 or 3 assists in the middle of the season. That's good ball for Reed Shepard right now because we're not really asking him to go out and get 15, 20 points. It just means that if Fred goes down, he can up that 9 points to 15. And if Fred goes down and Reed Shepard comes in and averages 15, 17 points on some Lynn Sanity type shit, it's crazy. It's up from there. That means we're finna fire Fred. They're gonna be wanting to fire Fred VanVleet immediately. Immediately. So these are just some of the things I was thinking about. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's basically where we at. We right now we on the hype train, getting ready for the off season to take off. Um, I don't really think as much else, like I said, you know what? I do got something else. Dorian Finney-Smith. I haven't never been a big Dorian Finney-Smith fan, but I've been listening to some of his interviews, and I'm starting to come around. Not just because he's a Houston Rocket, but I'm actually listening to the dude talk, and some of the stuff he says is starting to kind of be like, okay. I kind of can get a vibe for the dude. I kind of can get a vibe for the dude. Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith. Um, Obviously, Josh Coker, Jay Sean Tate. We talked about that already. What else? What else? Ema's offense. We talked about that already. Um, so hey, look. It is some more stuff I'm gonna bring to you. It's nothing really on the news cycle that's happening. Um, I think some people are wondering why we didn't get another point guard or whatever. I think the pickup of DJ JD Davidson, whatever his name is, I think, eh, you know, small guard. I think they say he's like 6'1". When I looked at it, I think he's like 6'1". Kind of quick, got a little bounce. I don't really expect to see him. We talked about that last time also. But for those of you who don't know, yeah, we picked up JD Davidson or whatever. And I don't think he's gonna get no burn. I don't think he's gonna get no burn. Now, if he comes in the preseason and he just goes bonkers in the preseason and and um and if he comes in and he goes bonkers for the preseason, then maybe he will get burned. Maybe he will get burned. My next live, I was supposed we supposed to do the debate tomorrow, which is going to be tomorrow, and it would have been 7, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 7 o'clock your time. Um, but I haven't heard back. What I think happened, I think, you know, I think my boy King, I think he just thought about it and he was like, I don't want to get cooked like that. I don't want to get cooked because I know EF coming with the smoke, and I don't really think he wanted that smoke. No way. But I don't think he wanted no smoke or no debate. But if if I hear back from him, I'll run a debate tomorrow. If not, my next live will be Saturday. Saturday around 7 o'clock your time, as per usual. And I usually try to, you know, I usually try to bring them on Wednesdays and Saturdays, or Wednesdays and Fridays, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Depending on how things are going. A lot of times I try to stay out of the way of other podcasters. If a podcaster has a show on a day, I'll try not to do mine on the same day. That way everybody get their own personal chance to eat. You know what I mean? And then a lot of times I want to go on other people's show and kick it with them. You know what I mean? Because I like to just go on and kick it with different people. You know, go over there and give a little bit of my takes over here, chop it up with the dudes who, keep it real with me when I was, what I'm saying, when I was getting it out the mud. So um so a lot of times I just, I pull up on somebody else's show and I won't come up. And I hold my bullets in the gun for when it's time for me to bust my shots. Um, nah, man, look, King don't really want no smoke, man. The King don't want no smoke. Global don't want no smoke. I mean, you know, because really what it come down to is, when it come down to debate, and then what, I did start kind of early. Usually today, usually what I do when I take off is usually I probably would have just been taking off around 8. I probably would have just been taking off around 8, but I took off a little early today. But speak, ain't this something? Well, speak of old man. Boy, look at that. Boy, that's a San Francisco fan for you right there. That's a real San Francisco 49 fan for you, man. You say something about a 49er fan, they gonna pop out of nowhere. Yeah, but I was just saying, man, King don't really want no smoke, man. Global don't want no smoke. Uh Mo, you know what I mean? Mo, he'll pop up, you know, they'll pop up, but King, let me know, man. Let me know. Cause we were supposed to schedule that debate for tomorrow. I mean, I don't know, I mean, what's today? Today the third, yeah, tomorrow the first. You know what I mean? I know usually this time of year, this when the excuses start to run high. This when the excuses start to run high, you know. But if you want me to reschedule, hey, nah, for real though, because if you want me to reschedule it for you, I don't mind rescheduling for you. You know what I mean? Because I do that for you because you my boy. You know what I mean? You my peeps. You know what I'm saying? We keep the thigh wall. So I'm not gonna hold you to it to have to do it tomorrow on such short notice, even though it's been like a month since I scheduled it. But hey, just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. Just let me know. Let me know how you want to do it. But no, so we'll get it worked out. If we don't get it worked out for tomorrow, I'll roll it back, you know, until we get it worked out. And as soon as we figure out what day we're gonna start jumping off the debate, we're gonna jump off the debate. If we don't do the debate tomorrow, then what I'll do is I'll just come on and do just a regular live on Saturday, and we'll just come up here and chop it up because you know just keep y'all informed on whatever else I got to talk about because I do have some I do have you know some other stuff I want to get into that I think is probably going to be whole show type stuff, but I kind of wanted to just come on here and vent a little bit about the whole roll out a ball and get a bucket type thing. That was really, how they used to say, chip my hide. that was really chipping my hide. I had to nip it in the bud. You know what I mean? It really chapped my hide, so I had to come nip it in the bud. Um, I just feel like it was just getting too. It was just getting too cliche. It was just becoming a norm for people to say that, and I'm like, you know, it's more to the Rockets getting KD than roll out the ball, get a bucket. You know, so that's why I popped up. Um, let's see, let's see. Let me look up here and see because I know King will be the slid in the. He'll be the slid in the back comments. On Sunday night prime. Oh, you want to do it on Sunday? You want to do it on Sunday? Okay, okay, okay. We can do it on Sunday. Sunday night prime time. Hmm. You know what? I can make that happen for you, buddy. You know what I think? I think you got yourself. I think you got yourself a date, buddy. Hey, when is 49ers first game, King? When is our first game? Let me see when our first game is the 49ers, man. Cause I don't want to. I don't necessarily want to. I don't want to jinx the 49ers, man. Cause I feel like if I do a if I who no. We're gonna do it on Sunday. Ain't no look. Ain't no fear. Ain't no fear. I'm my only thing is I don't want to cook King on the night that the 49ers play and two 49ers fans going at it and it bring down the energy of our team. See, because if two 49ers fans conflict and we clash, it might cause the 49ers to lose. You know what I'm saying? That's how the universe might, it might ripple in the time continuum or something. But nah man, look, let me show y'all something. I'm just gonna show y'all, give y'all a little taste of something right quick. You know what? It better not pull up either. Okay. All right, all right, all right. It ain't pulling up right now, but I was gonna let y'all see something. But just know, man, I'm locked and loaded. No, we're gonna do it on Sunday. On Sunday, 7 o'clock your time. I got you. I got you. 7 o'clock your man. Look, I'm prepared, bro. You gotta realize this. I'm prepared. I'm prepared. I'm so prepared. Y'all gonna be like, oh, this nigga that went too far. Y'all gonna be like, he went too far. He went too far. All I'm saying is, look, this I'm telling you, King, three, three. We got 3 minutes, 3 minute rounds, bro. 3 minute rounds. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want no hard feelings afterwards. Hold on, let's see something. Okay. Let me see something. Let me see if I can just let me give you a simplification of where we at. Okay, okay. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on, bear with me. I'm just trying to pull up my little shot clock so you can see my little time clock, man. Let me see. What? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Pookie Raymond. It's gonna go down. I know King don't really want no smoke, man. King be talking, look, King be talking that, but in real life, it's not what he want. This is not at all what he here for. He ain't here for this. The way I'm set up, the way my the way my joints is set up is real. My joints is set up to go for the gusto. Let's see how to do this right there. Yeah, my joint set up to go for the gusto. I came in. What in the world? Let's see who that is. That's not me. That's not me. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. Now I gotta go to the what's it called? Um, yeah, anyway, man. Look, 3 minute quarters, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. That's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna just keep it all the way down the line to where if you get your 3 minutes and you get your closing argument in 3 minutes, you get everything in 3 minutes. And then, if we still got time, we'll just let them go ahead and, we'll let the people whoever in the audience or whatnot, we'll let them come in and say whatever they gotta say. If they want to come in and take off and say how they feel about the debate, if they feel like who was better or whatnot, all that kind of stuff. They can come in and say all that. They can come in and they can say whether they feel like you won, I won, whoever won. You know, I ain't gonna hold no hard feelings if they feel like I just was better than you. Okay, cool. I ain't gonna be mad at them if they feel like I was better. That's what's up. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it be like that. Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes it be like, you know, sometimes I'm just the best one, and then you just gotta leave it at that. And I ain't gonna have no hard feelings if they say, you know what, King won a debate. King won a debate. King won a debate, man. If King won a debate. King won a debate. I ain't gonna have no hard feelings about that. You know. Now, do I think that's possible? Not at all. In no shape, form, or fashion do I think King could beat me in a debate ever. Um, no, I don't think King could beat me in a debate. That's not. King beat me in a debate is like that's almost would be equivalent of that'll be like Russell Wilson. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. That'll be like Russell Westbrook beating Steph Curry in a 3-point shooting contest. That'll be like Russell Westbrook beating Steph Curry in a 3-point shooting contest. Will it be smoke or vapor? Hey, no, I mean, look, it's gonna be smoke. Y'all know I like all the smoke, man. I want all the smoke. I want all the smoke. Barbecue. I want hickory. I want hookahs. I want uh gas chamber smoke. I want what's that? Fire hazard smoke. I want everything. I want everything. I want all the smoke. It ain't no. First of all, this the whole thing. Let me tell you, I'm gonna predict this like this. King is gonna probably win one round. King is probably gonna win one round of the debate. But I'm gonna win two. I'm gonna win 2 rounds. It ain't but 2 rounds, but he gonna win one round, and that's gonna be the closing argument. He'll win the closing argument, maybe if I let him. if I let him, if I let him win the closing argument, then he'll win the closing argument. That's just how it go. That's just how it go, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It ain't that easy. It ain't that easy out here in these streets, Brody. I'm just letting you know, cause it could get real. It could get real, real quick. And then I know how people live because they'll get to what in the Sam sneezy. Oh, boom, there it go. Okay. What happened is people will get real, they'll get upset, and then they'll start saying all kind of stuff at the end of the night. They'll be like, oh man, he was just making up stuff. Then they'll be coming up with all different kind of reasons why they lost and all that kind of stuff. Well, nah, he had the camera on mute, and you know what I mean. I ain't gonna do him like that, man. I ain't gonna do my boy like that, Brody. I ain't gonna do my boy like that, Brody. I'm gonna keep it a bean with him. I'm gonna cook him fair and square. I'm gonna cook him fair and square. You know, what I wonder about is this is what I really wonder about. I really wonder why did he even take the debate? This is what I really want to know. This is what I want to know. I got one question. This would be our like this is like our little weigh in right here. Why did you take the debate, man? Why did you take the debate? What made you feel like that was a good debate for you to take? Do you really feel like it's a clear cut choice that James Harden is the second best, that he automatically the second best Rocket ever? Give you 5 or 10 minutes to hop on. But this would be a good time for me to try out my little timer. Tell me what you think about my timer. Look at my timer right here. I had to set this up. Look, this is the special custom made red alert debate timer. Yes, yes. You see this joint right here? Let me see. I ain't just really figured out how to maneuver everything on my screen yet. 'Cause I got about 17 different joints open right now. I'm gonna put this down over here. Put this over here. Let me see if I can run this timer right quick. Let me see if I can run this timer.
Don't be alarmed, Renee.
Look at my timer, little timer going off over there, man. You see how my timer? This how you gonna know. Look, 3 minutes right there. See it? What you think about that? What you think about that, Ari? And think about that, impressive arts. You like that, Tom? You like that? Yeah, this is a good look right here. See, I wanted to try it out tonight anyway, just to see how it was gonna work. And I don't know if I was to share my screen, 'cause I want to be able to share my screen right here in the middle, and then still have my timer going with it. But I think I got it figured out. I had to do some little finessing. But I want y'all to be able to keep an eye on the timer of how fast I go, because I'm gonna dissect him. I'm gonna dissect him like this. Pop, 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 pop. See how that countdown going? Pop, 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 pop. Precision. And then you got to know me. You got to know that in my whole preparation, without even knowing if he was really gonna show up, I already got my whole presentation down to the second. That's how I know I'm cooking. I got my presentation down to the second. I know what I'm gonna be saying right now. Now, now I know exactly what word gonna be coming out my mouth. At 1:15, I know exactly what I'll be saying at 1:15. See, that's how cold I am. That's real. This is high IQ level type stuff. When I get to 106 right here, I'm gonna be getting in my cooking mode, and I'm gonna let off the gas a little bit right here at let off the gas a little bit for him. Right when he think I'm finna ease up, I'm gonna drill it home right here when it hit. Right there. Boom, 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 boom. Then I'm gonna start drilling right here. Then I'm gonna drill it home all the way from here. Last 45 seconds, quarter till, cooking. First round, 30. I mean, you gotta understand this light work for me. Like the base is light work for me. Especially like an actual real time debate. An actual real time debate is light work. It's harder to debate on platform when you got people, talk over you. You debating somebody who, you know, got a religious belief or don't got a religious belief, and they want to talk over you whenever you try to make a point, or you make a point and they totally disregard the fact that you made a point. You know, all that kind of stuff. That's
Don't be
hard.
alarmed.
Boom. That go your time right there. That's because I couldn't get my mod. I couldn't get my moderator to commit. But if I ever get my moderator to commit, then my moderator could just run that little timer and then, you know, whatever. But for right now, I got it over here until I get my mods and stuff to go ahead and kick in. But yeah, that's the gist of it, man. The way I see it is that it's hard pressed for me to believe that, a person sat down in their right mind and was like, I'm gonna take a debate, and this is the debate I'm gonna take. I have absolutely no real reason to set myself up for failure like this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I appreciate the man. Look, let me say this off the muscle. I appreciate King, man. Do the real dude, do the real cat. If it was me and somebody was like, "Hey, come on my platform. Let me cook you for a good 30, 28 minutes." You know what I mean? Let me cook you up for a good 28 minutes. I'd be like, I don't know about that, Brody. I don't know if I want to get cooked like that. You know, I don't know if I want to get cooked like that. And money. You see how I got it set up? That's a real timer for you. It's gonna have you right. Ain't gonna be no none of that. Ain't gonna be none of that. Ain't gonna, I ain't gonna expose my hand, but trust me. If you know King, you already know how to think. If you know King, you know how it's gonna go. If you know me, you know how it's gonna go. If you've been around and you done heard me talk, you know how it's gonna go. I'm gonna ramble. I'm gonna say some stuff. It's gonna seem like I'm off topic. I'm gonna bring it all home in my closing argument. It's gonna all seem like I'm like I'm like your president. I'm gonna do the weave. I'm gonna do the weave. That's, hold up. I just track myself up. I'm gonna do the weave on it. Nah, you know how I go. I mean, she say, she say, don't let him cook you. Don't let him go on your show and cook you. Hey, you know what? First of all, I want to say this. The show ain't just my show. This is a show for the people. You know what I mean? This is your show. It's his show. So all Rocket fans. You know what I mean? It's really for everybody. I just happen to be, you know, one of the people who just push the buttons. You know what I mean? I just push buttons. I just push buttons, and chop it up, run my mouth, try to bring a little entertainment to light for the people, by the people. You know what I mean? If you exactly. But second of all, ain't no cooking me. Ain't no getting cooked. Ain't gonna be no none of that. Ain't gonna be no none of that. But this would be a good little chance for us to get away in. And the thing is, it's gonna be such a good show that people gonna watch the debate. You know, people gonna watch the debate forever. It's gonna be one of them ones to where it's not because it's not news. Like right now, I'm just bringing news, telling you about stuff I think about. You know, stuff I think about. Whatever gonna be happening this year. This debate is gonna be a timeless debate. This debate is gonna go down in history. Gonna be one for the ages. So let me bring up King and see. Let me bring him up and let's see what he got to say.
What's happening? What it do, man?
Shit, it's you, Brody. You. Where your mask at? Let me see something. Okay, there you go. Boom. Now I can see you. So, you know, let's chop it up, man. Let's do it like this. What made you? I know you took the debate because you just a real dude and you just looking out for your boy. But other than the fact that we 49er fan and 49er bang bang Niners gang, you know what I mean? Other than that,
Mm.
what made you feel like you can win the debate? Do you feel like you can win the debate, or did you just take it because ego?
Well, look, that debate has already been won. Um, you the only one who don't know it yet. Funny thing is that I didn't already smoke somebody on camera, pretty much in this same debate about James Harden. I have an extensive history um of making the case, and I'm talking about for James Harden with his time as a Houston Rocket, playoff failures and all. So there's nothing new that you're gonna be able to bring to the table. I've already done this. I have a history of doing this. Um, the fact that you just so disrespectful, you up here doing all this woofing about I'm only gonna win one round. You don't even know why I took the debate. Like, boy, you up here big, high power popping it. And I don't think you really even wanted this. You ain't even want this smoke. You ain't want these problems. You did not want to have to step in the ring with the king, man. You didn't want to. But the dude who said he would fucked around and heard me talking basketball on your show. He said, man, I'm not fooling with that nigga. And that nigga does not sound like you know what you talking about. And so, you stepped in for him on some last second, last minute type thing, bro, but you're not prepared to step in the ring with me on no James Harden issues, bro. Like you just not prepared for it. So
Hey, no, but look, you know, now I think global. I think he was saying that James Harden is the second best Houston Rocket ever, also because global was. Like he was one of the first people came over here too. Like y'all came over here about the same time, you know what I mean? But he just, he pop up every now and again whenever I guess I don't know if he subscribed, he don't know when I'm on or not. He's been over here a couple of times, but I don't think he wanted no smoke for real. He was just talking, I think he was just talking. He don't really want to debate like that. But if you know what I'm saying, if look, I was gonna let whoever wanted to debate the topic if anybody else would have wanted to debate it. But it seemed like actually, to be honest, I'm gonna tell you what I was trying to do. It was a dude on Twitter that was saying that James Harden is the best Rocket ever, right? So I was really trying to bait him into coming on and debating somebody who would say that James is the second, and then he can come on and say he was the first, and then we can get a nice debate going on whatever, right? So I was like, okay, if I can just get anybody to come on and debate, it'll be a good debate because it's a good topic. Whether somebody think he the first, whether somebody think he the second, whether I feel like he ain't really done enough to be the second chick. You know, I don't think he done enough to say that it's just a clear cut choice that he's the second best Rocket ever. That's just my, that's my stance. I'm gonna stick to that Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it so clear. I'm gonna make it so clear that the people who just say James Harden is the second best Rocket, I'm gonna make it so clear how delusional they are as Rockets fans that it's gonna change the whole structure of how people debate. I mean, how people think about the GOAT debates from top to bottom. It's gonna change everything. It's gonna change the whole makeup of the whole nine. And I can't believe that you set yourself up for that. Um, Whoever was gonna debate me on anything is really just gonna be setting themselves up for a loss.
brother.
That's what it
Brother,
is.
I will give you this. I can tell that you from the South, because you are a class A shit talker. You know what I'm talking about? And boy, if motherfuckers ain't know no better, they'll believe everything coming out your mouth. You dig
Not
what I'm
only
saying?
not only that, but here's the
Problem is that I'm a class A shit talker too from the South. And so I don't buy it. I don't buy the tickets you selling. I ain't got no money for no Wolf tickets. I ran out of money when I was like 6. You know what I'm saying? I spent all my Wolf ticket money when I was 6 years old. I ain't bought a ticket since.
I'm
So
I'm
everything that you said sound good. The only thing that you gonna be able to do is try to tap into people's emotions. But I'm gonna smoke you on this James Harden topic, bro. James Harden, the best Rocket ever, is not even a debate. I wouldn't even debate nobody who's trying to say that. Like that's simply ridiculous.
no,
But
it was a dude that were really they were really making the argument that James Harden is the best Rocket ever.
yeah, but that's not an argument. That's not a real argument. It's nobody logically who could say that he's above Hakeem Olajuwon. Like that's just ridiculous. So I mean, I don't know how somebody would be able to make a logical debate on something that is illogical. You know, it's like somebody debating you, telling you that they can touch the sun. It's illogical. It's not real. It's not possible. I'm not finna waste my brain matter energy debating, something nonsensical like that.
Yeah,
Number two, all time for the franchise,
yeah.
because the debate is that he's the second best Rocket. So it ain't got nothing to do with second best two guard, second most recognizable athlete in Houston. It ain't none of that.
Nah, nah,
Second best Rocket.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm smoking anything and everything on that topic, bro.
All right, I mean,
But
look,
Sunday,
now look,
Sunday, 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 Sunday night party. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be the first Sunday night football mashup
look,
in a couple of days.
don't look, don't not study, dog. You better do your homework. That's all I'm saying. Do your homework because see, I'm gonna tell you how I grew up. I had to come home and I used to get in trouble if my homework wasn't done. So I used to do my homework on the bus on the way home. So I can make sure that my homework is done. I can go outside and play. And then if I didn't do it by I got home, I just knew I was gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean? So if it didn't get done, I knew I was in trouble. So me, I'm a firm believer that if you're gonna do the work, get the work done, have the work done, and be ready to play. So that's what I'm telling you. Make sure that you studied up, that you ready to come, ready for the game. Don't not die. Look, don't come half prepared because you're gonna be in a world hell of trouble. I'm gonna be riding in hot cotton. I'm telling you that right now.
Brother, I told you I've done this already.
Okay.
You dig what
Okay.
I'm saying? Fast Family Affair. That's my secondary YouTube. I got a bunch of videos on there. I used to do a panel with my brother and a couple of my cousins. We used to do it every Sunday, especially during football season, particularly during football season. There's one particular debate on that channel with me and my cousin. He's also a Rocky fan on the issue of James Harden. You should do your homework.
I'm
you
ready.
should you should do your homework and understand who you dealing with, man. And my argument then got even stronger, even better since I had that debate with him, and that was not long after Harden left the Rockets.
Really?
Yeah. My argument has gotten even better than what it was in that debate. And I smoked him. Smoked
Okay.
him. So do your homework, man. Do your research.
You said Fast Family Affair?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't tell me because
Whoa, ain't no ice.
I'm gonna
Don't hate
scout
me.
you.
I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I'm sorry. At least
I'm
it's not
I'm
warm. I wouldn't have gave it to you warm. Here you go.
Thank
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go scout you. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
you. Yeah. I implore you to, brother. Did you find it?
I see it. I don't see no debates on here. All I see is shorts home slice.
Nah, I ain't got no shorts. That's the wrong one.
Okay, it must be somebody else then. Well, I mean, look, I really don't got to do all that. I already know what your
You do.
argument,
You do. You do.
huh?
You do.
I
You
know what
do
your
need. You do got to do that.
I
What's my
know what your
argument? Tell
huh?
me. Let's get the people a preview of what my argument gonna be. Go ahead.
Look, your argument is gonna be something got to do with stats. It's gonna have something to do with um being a number two seed, a number one seed, and keeping the team relevant for years. It could be some iteration of that. You know what I mean? And you know, just just for a little, you know how they do the little weigh-ins, and then somebody always slap the other person just to spark it up. Let me go ahead and slap you one time. You do realize that Daryl Moore chose not to tank, and he kept that team in the middle of the winning category until the whole time. They never went into tank mode. So when James Harden came on that team, they was already a middle of the pack team when he got there. He never brought a team from the bottom up. He never had to bring that team from a losing team to a winning team. That team was already a 500 plus team when he got there.
They was a 500 team.
They was a 500 team when he got there. Daryl Moore
Right.
never
They had
told.
missed. They had missed the playoffs. They had missed the playoffs like 4 years straight.
Right.
Right.
That's because the West was
And the
deep.
moment that he stepped in the door, they never not made the playoffs.
That's true. That's
His
true.
entire his entire career that he played in Houston, outside of the last year when he got traded, every year he was in Houston, they made the playoff.
That's facts. That's
So
facts.
so so saying he didn't take a bottom team. No, they wasn't a bottom team, but they wasn't a winning team neither.
Right.
They wasn't a playoff team neither.
They wasn't a playoff.
And
They
when
was
he took over that team, who was the second best player on that team? Exactly. Exactly.
we took over the
Boy,
team.
you can't. Hey, look here, man. You still got time. You got
Going
time.
going
You
going.
you you got time. You got time. Hey, man. I had an injury at training camp. You want to talk about boxing? This is time for you to blow out your shoulder, man. You know what I'm saying? It's time for you to blow your shoulder.
No, we ain't gonna do it like that. We gonna,
It's time for you to have a shoulder injury, my nigga.
I'm gonna make weight.
Real spill.
I'm gonna make weight. I might even juice up. I might even hit some steroids.
Yeah, you better do something. You better do something.
I might get on there
Cause
before
you
game.
sound unprepared. You sound unprepared. Look here, them emotional arguments that you gonna try to make against James Harden is not gonna work with me, bro.
You
It's
think?
not gonna work. The playoff failures, all that's not gonna get the job done for you, my boy. I
Let me,
guarantee you that.
okay.
It's not
Okay.
gonna get the job done.
You think and see what I'm saying. Let me tell you something about me, just so you understand it. I'm a debater, bro. I study debates, like real debate. I'm not talking about YouTube debates where people just not even like sports center debates. I study real debates, bro. Real live debates, Berkeley debates, real live debates. I'm a professional. I'm as close to being a professional debater as you probably gonna find. As you probably gonna ever find. I can go anywhere as long as everything is lined up like I like it lined up. I can go in any room and debate with anybody. I can go in
If
any
it's
room.
lined up like you like it.
If it's lined up like I like it, I can go in any room and debate with anybody. And you better
Well,
believe that this is
you
lined up
didn't
like
line you didn't lined up the wrong one, bro. you didn't lined up the wrong one.
no,
I'm
sir.
sorry.
It's gonna be hard for you, King. I ain't gonna even hold you, bro.
No, this light works. Like I said, this is something I done already done. I done been there, done that. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
So this is light work. You know, one thing that you're not gonna be able to out debate me on is my Niners and James Harden. You can't out debate me on them too. So you really picked the wrong subject.
I could debate
Now
you on
maybe
49ers.
if you would have tried to debate me on, you know, the Cincinnati Bengals or something, you would have had a chance.
I can debate you on anything 49ers. I can really debate you on anything Houston Rockets.
No, you can't debate me on Niners, homeboy. Can't do that.
You don't think so?
I know so.
Okay.
You ain't got enough. You ain't got enough pelts on your coat, man. Okay, I'm just saying. I was born in I was born in
If he just
76.
said red alert,
I was born in 1976,
so what?
1976, man. I've
You
seen
got me by a couple
every
years.
Super Bowl I remember 4 Super Bowl wins. That
Okay.
I remember.
Got me by a
I
couple
remember
years.
watching them. You dig what I'm saying? And I didn't pay attention to this team on everything in between.
So who is your favorite Rockets? I mean, your favorite San Francisco running back?
My favorite Niner running back,
Yeah.
the Tank,
Mm,
Frank Gore.
yeah, Frank Gore. Yeah, I figured you say either him or Garrison Hurst. Not Ricky Waters or Roger Craig. Not
No,
Tom
Ricky
Rathman.
Waters. I like Ricky Waters. I like Roger Craig.
You don't like Tom Rathman?
He was all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I can give you work. I mean, I ain't going with Frank Gore, bro. I'm not going with Frank Gore as my favorite running back for 49ers, bro. It's gonna have to be Roger Craig or Ricky. I mean, Ricky Waters was good until he started missing passes. I think that was after he had got hit a couple times. He started missing passes, but Ricky Waters was the goon running that ball, man. Ricky Waters was the truth. Um, what about receiver? Terrell Lawrence in his prime, Jerry Rice, or the year Randy Moss was there?
Man, it's Jerry Rice and ain't even close. Again, that's not a debate.
It ain't no debate. Jerry Rice is the best.
It's no debate.
Jerry Rice is the best football player ever to live. I don't care what nobody say about Tom Brady being the best football player ever. If I have to pick a player right now to start a football team, it's going to be Jerry Rice over Tom Brady. I can pick any quarterback to throw him the ball.
Oh no. I'm not taking Jerry Rice. I'm not taking Jerry Rice over Joe Montana. A young prime Joe Montana. I'm sorry, bro. Them quarterbacks has just shown that they can win without elite receivers. Jerry Rice ain't shown that he can lead a team to a Super Bowl championship victory with a less than elite quarterback.
But didn't he do it with Steve Young?
No. Steve Young is a Hall of Famer.
Why?
What you mean why? Because he was a damn good quarterback. Like he led the NFL in completion percentage like 7 years. Was number 1 in passer rate. He's an MVP. Come on, bro.
Listen, he led in completion percentage because he was dinking and dunking in the flats in that little West Coast offense and throwing in the slant to Jerry Rice, who was a master of that drag route. If it wasn't for that drag route and them outlet passes to the running backs, He not getting the ball down the field like what Joe Montana was getting the ball down the field. I give it to Joe Montana. He was placing that ball where it needed
Steve
to
Young,
be,
bro, you wildin'. You
but
wildin'.
he wasn't no he wasn't no great down the field. He led the passing percentage though because of that drag route. That drag route is what got Steve Young passing percentage.
No, no. Steve Young threw the ball down the field.
He did, but not like that, bro. Come on, keep
Yes,
it a
he
bit.
did like that, bro. Bro, he had dudes who was getting down the field. Brett Jones, Jerry Rice.
That's how you spoke.
What is you doing, man?
That's some dysfunctional shit.
Uh,
Nah, man. It ain't no.
so
Come on.
so how did Steve Young drop the record for most touchdown passes in the Super Bowl? And I think at the time, the highest scoring Super Bowl in NFL history.
I mean, like I say, bro. It, first of all, they were dialing up some good plays. I ain't gonna hold you. They were dialing up some good plays. He was and a lot of Steve Young's ability to score a touchdown was predicated off that offense because that nickel defense with Dion and Merton Hanks was a fool. That nickel defense with Dion and Merton Hanks, come on, bro. You ain't throwing the ball nowhere. You ain't throwing and we just had the ball too much for anybody. It's like you can't do nothing against that defense. And we had was it Ken Norton at the time? You got Ken Norton,
The Cowboys did something against our defense.
and they got their butt whooped too. And
Yo, we won, but they made that a game, and what probably looked like it was gonna be a blowout. Dallas came all the way back and made that a game, bro.
they did, but at the end of the day, like I say, that defense was a goon. And then we give Steve Young a chance to get the ball. You know what I'm saying? He called a play. Jerry Rice run his route, turn around and look for the ball, and Steve Young right there running behind him.
Yeah, he did have that ability.
Jerry Rice turn around and look for the pass. He turned into a blocker. God dang, Steve Young running right behind him like he a blocker. But still look, Steve Young is my second favorite quarterback behind Michael Vick. I mean, he was my first favorite quarterback until Vick came in the league. So, I mean, obviously, I'm a Steve Young fan more so than I am a Joe Montana fan. But I don't feel like Tom Brady was a better quarterback than Joe Montana. I just don't. I don't feel like Tom Brady is a better quarterback than Joe Montana. I don't feel like Tom Brady is the best football player in the world. I feel like the best football player in the world is Jerry Rice. The next best football player in the world is Deion Sanders. The third best football player ever is either Randy Moss or Jim Brown. And I think Jim Brown could probably be, you know, right up there with one or two. But I think it's hard to put anybody over Jerry Rice and Deion. And then I probably would go Randy Moss, Jim Brown, and then Lawrence Taylor. So,
Well, see, the problem is that all of this is just based off your individual emotions. Like you can feel how you want to feel, but at the end of the day, if we're logically talking about, you know, who the GOAT is, Tom Brady's the GOAT. You may not like him as much as you like Michael Vick or Steve Young or Joe Montana or anybody else. I held out with Joe as long as I possibly could. Like I legit held out for Joe as long as I possibly could. In the moment that Tom Brady led that comeback 25-3
against Atlanta.
against Atlanta and won that Super Bowl, Joe had to hand over the title, bro.
Yeah, it's hard pressed for me to give it to I'm gonna tell you why it's hard pressed for me to give it to Tom Brady. Because when a player and their team is known for cheating and they get caught cheating 2-3 times, like Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let's say LeBron was the GOAT basketball player, right? And then we found out that he was juicing on steroids. Would he still be the GOAT? Let's
No,
say we
because
found out.
because he was cheating. But if you
Okay.
tell me that LeBron is the GOAT, which he ain't, but let's say you tell me he's the GOAT,
Mhm.
and then we find out that his teammate was juicing. Does that all of a sudden mean that LeBron can't be the GOAT because his teammate was juicing?
Well, let's do this. The consensus is that Jordan is the GOAT. He's not my GOAT. My GOAT got to start with Will or Bill Russell. It just do. Okay, well, let's say Jordan is the GOAT. Okay.
Okay.
Now, let's say that we find out that the referees, in conjunction with the Bulls, was cheating to get Jordan all them wins. Let's say that we find out that 2 of his championships or 3 of his championships he wouldn't have won if the referees wouldn't have cheated for him. And it brings his championship total. 3 of his championships have an asterisk by him. So now he got 3 legit championships. Is he still the GOAT? No.
Well,
He's not.
I'm not. Hold on. I'm not gonna say that because being the GOAT ain't determined about rings alone. It still got to do with your resume in conjunction with your ability to win championships,
But you can't just give
right?
it to him based on
And
one
so
time.
if you want to say that the referees for sure helped him win a couple of his championships, well, he still won 4 other championships along with his resume, along with his individual accolades, along with his team success. Like, they didn't help him win all them games. They ain't help
Right.
him get through all of them playoff series.
But you got
You
players
talking
like
about for one series, 2 other times he won a championship. That's not gonna stop him from being the GOAT. He still did what he did.
but you
You're trying to conflate outside sources helping Tom Brady have the success he had. The referees didn't help the Patriots win championships.
them deflating the ball. You say I'm trying to conflate. I'm not trying to conflate. I'm trying to say they deflated. They deflated.
Yeah, but Tom Brady himself, fam, he's the quarterback. He don't handle the footballs. Do you think Tom Brady was sitting in the locker room with a pen, deflating footballs, fam?
Bro,
I just want to know if that's what you believe.
no. But
Okay, so somebody else was putting deflating the footballs.
Okay.
He had a preference. He liked his footballs, a little bit softer. He didn't like them extra hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe the ball boy deflated the balls a little bit too much. I don't think that you can look at that situation and say, "Oh, he cheated his way to a Super Bowl." No,
What about Spygate?
Spygate had nothing to do with Tom Brady. Number one.
But it gives your team
That's number one. That's number one, bro.
Gives your team an advantage to win the game that you might not have won. So therefore,
It gave his team an advantage. Okay, my bad. My bad.
If you think about the fact that Tom Brady has had cheating on his record for two different situations to where he might not have won them games that would have kept him out of the Super Bowl 2 times, then you think about how many times he might have cheated that he wouldn't have been in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Spygate was once. The Flakegate, they ain't even get to the Super Bowl. So you can't even put cheating on his, and that's not on his record. Again, it wasn't Tom Brady who was ever cheating. The ball boys deflated the ball a little bit too much. In one instance, his coach, Bill Belichick, was found to be cheating, filming the opposing team in the Rams Super Bowl. Okay, so that you can maybe say that helped him, but again, Tom Brady as the quarterback still had to do his job. Did he carry out his job? Yes, he did. He had the ball last. His defense wasn't on the field last. He was. He drove his team down the field, for the game-winning field goal at the buzzer. That's how the Patriots won that Super Bowl. So Tom Brady did his job. The Deflategate thing, they didn't even get to the Super Bowl. You dig what I'm saying?
You ever seen a spotted cat before? The orange,
But what?
the yellow spotted cats with the spots on them, yellow cat with the spots on them. We know what they call
I don't know
them.
nothing about cats, bro.
The yellow spotted cats, them real fast ones. The one they say run like 60 miles per hour. What they call them
Oh,
cats?
a cheetah?
Exactly. Let's Tom Brady and be a better chick. They some cheaters. They some
Hey man,
cheaters.
just because you said don't make it true.
They some
Again,
cheaters.
that's all emotion. You don't got no facts, and that's why you gonna get smoked Sunday.
Nah, bro.
Because you want to make all these emotional arguments, a bunch of talking points with your fake ass weave, and it's not gonna fly.
I'm gonna do like y'all president do, man. I'm gonna go all the way around everything. I'm gonna go all the way around. You're gonna be like, it don't even make no sense. But then when I break it
Yeah,
down,
I hope you can do it in 3 minutes.
oh man, I'm good. I'm good. I tell you, I got mine down to the second. I know exactly what word I'll be saying when I hit 120. When I hit, you know what I'm saying. When I get to 1 minute, when I get to 45 seconds, I know exactly what word I'll be saying. I can tell you right now what word I'll be saying at them times. That's how easy it's gonna be for me. I can tell you the exact word I'll be saying at that exact time.
Nah, keep it a secret, man.
I ain't gonna do it to you. I don't want to pimp my hand. My uncle already told me don't never pimp your hand. But look, this is what I'm saying. If we was to find out that Michael Jordan had the league cheating for him, and that's why he had the wins in the playoffs. That's why he had the. We can say, well, he scored the buckets. He scored the buckets, but they was cheating for him. They were calling fouls against the other team on players like Scottie Pippen and giving Scottie Pippen free throw. They were letting Luke Longley get away with fouls. They wasn't calling no fouls on Bill Cartwright. They were letting Rodman get away with fouling and calling fouls on other people, and that was why Jordan got 2-3 championships, right? And if we was able to show that Jordan was the benefactor of or the beneficiary of 2 or 3 championships that he wouldn't have won without the referees cheating, it would be hard for me to say he's still the GOAT, which is the same way I feel about Tom Brady. I just feel like he had enough asterisks by his name to say that if he was caught for cheating right here, caught for cheating right there, that is enough for me to say maybe he cheated more times than what we caught. I don't really care, but it's enough for me to say we didn't hear none of that about Joe Montana. We didn't hear none of that about Deion Sanders. We knew that Lawrence Taylor was on pod and cracking whatever like that. They let him play. We knew that Jim Bryan was stronger than everybody. So these other things, these guys don't have the cheating on their resume. Like Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong was caught for doping. He always got an asterisk by his name as far as a bike rider. If it come out that LeBron was doing steroids, they're gonna look at LeBron. They're gonna start saying Kobe was better than LeBron. Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player ever. They always constantly trying to say somebody is as good as Barry Bonds because he was caught with the steroid thing. So if you're a known cheater, then it's just always gonna be the possibility. How much did cheating contribute to your legacy?
Well, the thing is that outside of Tom Brady haters, I don't hear nobody accusing Tom Brady of being a cheater.
That's right.
You don't
That's
you
right.
don't hear it. You don't hear it in the media, and vast majority of fans see him and recognize him as the undisputed GOAT. So the people who are haters of Tom Brady or whatever feel some type of way, they the only ones who's really trying to put the cheating label on his jacket. Everybody else understands Tom Brady was never caught with cheating. The cheating that was accounted to the Patriots was more so put on the back of Bill Belichick, not Tom Brady.
Man,
So I mean,
just,
you
just
can tell everybody about your feelings and your emotions and what you think. You
I'm,
know, your own personal
I'm,
opinion. That's cool.
I'm gonna tell you what I think. Do you think Tom Brady is a better football player than Deion Sanders? Do you? Okay, let me see. That might be me. Did
Hold
I
on,
mute
nah,
you?
nah. I was backing it. I think he was better at his position than Dion was at his position.
What?
He was better at quarterback than Dion was at cornerback. That can't be disputed. Like I don't even understand. You know what you saying? What like that for? Like I said something crazy. Tom Brady was better at playing quarterback than Dion was at playing cornerback.
No, sir. Absolutely not. That is the most ludicrous, ridiculous statement I've ever heard in my life. Ludicrous, not to be confused with Super Sugar Golden Chris. Listen,
Y'all hear this man?
Deion Sanders,
Tom Brady went to 10 Super Bowls. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Deion Sanders is the undisputed best corner to ever play football. There's nobody even close.
And what is
Tom
Tom Brady?
Tom Brady had rivals.
Is the
That
undisputed best quarterback in the history of the NFL, and it ain't a close second. Go
it's
ahead.
arguable. It's arguable. You could say that he's the best winner of all. Tom Brady is arguably with the Bill Russell of quarterbacks. Arguably, it'll be the Bill Russell of quarterback. So if you want to, if you want to,
I know you're not expecting me to respond to such a ludicrous statement. Go ahead, bro.
so if you want to argue, if you wanted to say, well, Bill Russell is your goat at basketball, then I would say, okay, I can see, Tom Brady is the Bill Russell quarterback, but it don't make him just the best player. It just makes him the GOAT. I mean, you can say he's the GOAT on that level, but not as I'd rather have Tom Brady at my quarterback than Peyton Manning, or I'd rather have Tom Brady at my quarterback than Steve Young, or Tom Brady over Patrick Mahomes, or Tom Brady over Michael Vick, or Tom. No, get out of here. Get out of here, bro.
Oh,
I already got one
that's
ring.
just, bro, bro. So your subjective, personal opinion and likes is like somebody saying, "Oh, people in the hood don't listen to Eminem." Like, bro, that's your own subjective opinion. Okay, you yourself don't want to listen to Eminem. Cool, that don't mean nothing. At the end of the day, some things can't be denied. The fact that Tom Brady is the unquestioned GOAT for NFL can't be denied, not logically anyway. You dig what I'm saying? He owns every passing record in NFL history, along with being to 10 Super Bowls, along with winning 7 Super Bowl championships with 2 different teams. He's done shit that has never been done in the history of the NFL. Bruh, it's not subjectively arguable. It's just not.
I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I just don't know about that, man. I just in my mind's eye, and I say, you know, who had the better placement on the ball? You know, it's players that place the ball better than Tom Brady. It just is. You could say that Aaron Rodgers had the best placement on the football bed at the football. Joe Montana had better placement on the football than Tom Brady. As far as placing the ball on that outside shoulder over Jerry Rice outside shoulder, I don't think Tom Brady had placement better than Joe Montana. I just don't.
Bruh, it's not a QB contest. Like this ain't the Pro Bowl back in the day when they used to have the quarterback throwing competition. That ain't what this is.
Hey,
Like this ain't that, fam. We're talking about the full package.
so
Aaron
so
Rodgers is a damn choke artist. He could never be in the conversation with Tom Brady. Not ever. Not ever. On no level. I don't give a damn how talented he was. He could never be in the conversation with Thomas Brady, bro.
But what about Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning also was a choke artist.
Oh my days.
He put up great numbers. He put up great numbers.
Oh
He
my
did.
days.
He put up great numbers. But he
Only-
choked in the playoffs over and over and over and over and over again. I think the dude was in the league 10 years before he finally got over the hump and beat a damn Chicago Bears team with Rex Grossman as the quarterback. That's who he beat in the Super Bowl. When he finally got there.
The only thing about Peyton was he wanted to be the coach. And
He was a choke artist, bro.
His coaching couldn't outdo Bill Belichick coaching.
Oh my God.
I mean, his coaching wasn't as good as Bill Belichick. That's all I can say about Peyton.
Hey, bro. Excuses are like assholes. We all got them and they all stink. I don't want to hear nothing about no goddamn coaches. He had better coaching or none of that shit. Peyton Manning was a choke artist. He was a choke artist.
I don't know.
He won one legitimate Super Bowl again against Rex Grossman and the Chicago Bears. After 10 years in the league, about 8 of them consecutive going to the playoffs. And this dude is getting knocked, number one seed getting knocked out in the first round and shit. I'm sorry, bro. He got all the passing stats, all the passes. Well, he had them until Tom Brady passed him. But yeah, he put up all the pretty numbers and all that. You know what I'm saying? He did that. But when it came to winning time, he folded, bro.
Tom Brady played till he was 86 years old, bro. Tom Brady would still be playing right now today if he didn't get that big sports broadcasting contract. He'd still be playing right now, trying to break records.
Well, look. Nah, he didn't broke all the records. It ain't about records. See, the difference between Brady and LeBron is that Brady only was playing to win championships. He only wanted to win titles. When he seen how it was going in New England and that the priority wasn't to help him be able to get to the Super Bowl and win, he wanted out. And he took less money and went to Tampa, even though he wanted to come to San Francisco. Yes, he did. He wanted to come to the Niners. And Kyle Shanahan turned him down.
Yeah, that was stupid. That was one of the biggest mistakes in football history.
I agree. It was a mistake, but I understand why the mistake was made. In real time, I understand why the mistake is made. In hindsight, of course, you don't is no explaining it. But in real time, I understand why they turned him down. Right? Okay, so in real time,
shout out to my Cowboy fans. Go ahead.
In real time, 2018, that was his final. 2018, 2019 was his final year in New England.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a lot of talent around him, but when you watched him play, he looked old. Like his arm looked like it was shot. He couldn't move, to get out the way. And that New England Patriots team got destroyed in the first round of the play. Like they barely made it into the playoffs, and they got destroyed by Tennessee.
Right.
On the flip side, the Niners had a 25-year-old Jimmy Garoppolo, had just led them to the Super Bowl.
Porn star Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah. You had just made the Super Bowl with Jimmy G. It was his first full season as a starter. And you got all the way to the Super Bowl with him. So in real time are we going to, and was that the, no. Okay, so yeah, they had just gave him a contract, Jimmy a contract. Are we going to stud his growth, first full season as a starter? Because remember, we traded for him. He came in for like the final 6, 7, 8 games of that season. Final 6 games or something like that he started. And we won all those games. The very next year, he got knocked out with a torn ACL like week 2, week 3, something like that. So he missed that whole season. So 2019 season, 2018, 2019 season, I think it was 2019 season, he comes back. We get all the way to the Super Bowl with him, his first full season as a starter. So the question is, do you bring in a 40-year-old quarterback? Arm looked like his arm shot. He can't move. Do you bring him in even though he's the GOAT? And you tell this young quarterback that you just made the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, when you finna get rid of him for this 40-year-old quarterback, or do you stick with the young guy and say, look, this young guy still got a lot of room to grow? We made the Super Bowl with him in his first full season as a starter. He's only going to get better going forward. He's only 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, he's only gonna be hurt every day of his life.
Again, I'm talking about in real time when Kyle Shanahan is met with this this decision. 40-year-old Tom Brady, shot on, immobile, can't move at all. We don't got the greatest offensive line. Like, we ain't got an offensive line that can really protect him. Or 25, 26-year-old quarterback, got some movement skills, fits into the offense, into the system, and we coming off a Super Bowl appearance.
Okay. So let's look at this in Rockets terms. We got Jalen Green, who just got us to the second seed this year. Looking good. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, looking good. And then we got Kevin Durant on the team, who 166 years old, bad knee, bad ankle, fall down every time he try to shoot a layup, but he's a champion, back-to-back championships, MVP, scoring dude, all this and that. And then you say, but Jalen Green is young and he got us to such and such a place. Are we gonna go sign Kevin Durant?
Nice try. The only problem is Kevin Durant is coming off of a season where he averaged 27 points a game. He had the highest field goal percentage inside the 3-point line in the entire NBA. He don't look like he's a shot basketball player. And you're substituting a young guy that you didn't had on your team for 4 years, who field goal percentage wise hasn't improved. There was minimal improvement. Huh?
He's 22 years old.
He 23, 24 years old.
23.
Okay. He's 23, but again, there's an older player who isn't showing that he's a shot player. Like, I can see if KD was looking like Carmelo Anthony in his final years. If that's the dude, then no, you're not trading Jalen Green for that version of Carmelo that came to Houston. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you're not doing. But a KD who's still putting up 27, still shooting 40% from 3, led the NBA in field goal percentage from 2. Like, yeah, you're gonna make that change. It's not the same as the Jimmy Tom Brady thing at that time.
We got
At
to.
that time, I
I'll
could
give you Tom
understand
Brady
it.
as the GOAT. I'll give you the Tom Brady as the GOAT. But I'm never. Let me tell you something which you'll never get me to do. I'm gonna tell you this right now, Jack. You will never,
That's some dysfunctional shit.
you would never get me to understand why they didn't sign Tom Brady to Houston. Period. To San Francisco. Never. I would never, ever, ever understand it. You just sat here and argued me down that he's the greatest quarterback ever. When would you
Yeah.
say, hey, Jordan going to the Wizards? He's the greatest basketball player ever. He going to the Wizards. The Rockets can get him and let go of Kevin Martin. We're gonna just keep Kevin Martin and we're gonna just let Jordan go. No, it just don't add up because if nothing else but the IQ alone and the winning pedigree to come on and be a coach or sit on your team, you would always do that. You would always make that move,
Bro,
even even as a franchise, just to say this is the dude's favorite team. We're gonna let him come play for his favorite team, just as a you know, just as a nod to his greatness, to let him go to the team that he always wanted to play.
no, bro, listen. The 49ers was smack dab. They exploded into their Super Bowl window. You got to remember, we hadn't made the playoffs since Harbaugh had left. Kyle Shanahan got to the team in 2017. So in his third season as the head coach, which is our first time making the playoffs since Harbaugh had left, we get all the way to the Super Bowl with this young quarterback, this 25-year-old quarterback. We get all the way to the Super Bowl. And you telling me that, and we saw Tom Brady in real time in 2019, bro. He looked shot. Everybody who saw Tom Brady play in 2019 said it's time for him to retire. Tom Brady then finally fell off the cliff. His arm looked shot. He can't move. He's immobile at all. Even within the pocket, he looked immobile.
And so, what did he do to get the championship when he went to Florida to when he went to Tampa?
Well, when he got to the Bucks, number one, you had a motivated Tom Brady. We realized that it wasn't necessarily that he was a shot player. He didn't have the adequate talent around him.
He didn't have no offensive line. He didn't have no defense to give him the ball back. He didn't have no receivers that can get open all the time. He didn't have none of the stuff that
That's
they
why
had.
I just said he didn't have the adequate talent. But as a coach and an organization, you're not going through the whole scenario of breaking down they team, they roster, because Tom Brady had routinely lifted up lesser players and
That's true.
elevated them to a higher level.
I give you that.
I'm talking about just looking at him play, just watching him play, bro. His arm did not look, that it was as strong.
I
It
give
looked
you that.
like he had really regressed to a player that needed to go ahead and pack him up. When the Niners turned him down, he go to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay already had, the receivers and Godwin and Evans. They had a solid offensive line. Remember, the year before, Jameis Winston threw 31 touchdowns and 31 interceptions.
Yeah.
And they barely missed the playoffs. So Tom Brady gets there, defense highly improves. You bring over Gronk, you bring over Antonio Brown, you still got Evans and Godwin, you got a running game. And even then, they struggled early in that season until Tom Brady had to go to Bruce Arians and say, look, I need to use play action. I need to be under center some. Like, you can't just have me sitting in the shotgun, every single play trying to run the offense through that.
Right. Right. Because
And
I
they
can't drive.
switched the offense. They switched the offense after they bye week. They went on the run. The
Yeah.
rest is history.
Yeah. Can't drive the ball. Can't really drive the ball. Okay, so let's get into this. Let me pick your brain a little bit on some of these Rockets topics. 'Cause I don't know if you were listening earlier, so I want to pick your brain on some of this Rocket stuff right quick while I got you fired up.
Yeah. I got about 20 minutes before I have to go to get on this clock.
Okay, good deal, good deal. It's gonna be a good one. All right. Um, let's let's start with Alperen Sengun. Alperen Sengun is our second best player. I think I think the offense should run through Alperen Sengun. I think he's going to be the most important player on our team. Take off.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Um, Run the offense through him. Nah, should he be a part of our offense? Yeah, I mean because he's a low post player who can score. But when you say run the offense through him, that's kind of like saying that 95, 99% of the time when we come down the court that he needs to touch the ball. And I don't agree with that. See, we ran the offense through Yao Ming. We ran the offense through Hakeem Olajuwon. They ran the offense through Shaq. So they may not touch it every single time. Joker. They runs the offense through Joker. So they may not touch the ball every single time, but 95, 99, 98% of the time, he's going to touch the ball at some point. And then he's going to be able to make the decisions on, how that particular offensive set is going to go. Be it him posting up, be it them running some type of action with him in the high post, you know what I'm saying? Dribble handoffs, that type of thing, where he's involved in every offensive set when you cross the half court timeline, unless it's a fast break. Under no circumstance do I think that we need to be doing that with LP.
So my mind frame was my logic was like this. Kevin Durant, well, obviously, you know, the whole reason for getting on here for doing the show was I just got tired of people saying Kevin Durant, oh, you can roll out the ball and get a bucket. I got tired of hearing it. I got tired of the narrative that, oh, the Rockets got a guy, you can roll out the ball and get a bucket. That's just like they're gonna name Kevin Durant roll out the ball and get a bucket before this whole shit is over. So my thing was Kevin Durant brings more to the team than just roll out the ball and get a bucket. My reason for saying that had a lot to do with the fact that Kevin Durant can seamlessly fit into any offense like he did when he was in Golden State, whereas the offense was still ran through Draymond a lot, and Kevin Durant still was hella effective and still got his numbers, even though the offense was running through Draymond. I've also said a bunch of times that LP can run the offense like Draymond does and still be an effective scorer better than Draymond can. So that would make our offense hella dynamic, having a player like LP running the kind of offense that Draymond done with the dribble handoffs, the DHOs, some pick and rolls and stuff like that, and Kevin Durant being that, that secondary person to get the ball, off of a DHO or something like that, where he can get the ball with a little action and then get to a spot without the defense setting up. And so my idea was if LP gets the ball and they run a DHO with Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant get the ball, and he get to dribble into his spot and get to dribble into a pull up or dribble and go to the goal, dribble and make a pass. It makes him more dynamic than just catching the ball and the defense get to set their feet. What you think about that?
Some of what you're saying is true, but as usual, you are grossly inflating, LP when it comes to his passing. The thing about Draymond is that Draymond is a connective piece for their offense. So whether it is dribble handoffs or whatever, you run pick and roll and they try to trap Steph, Draymond will get that pass, and Draymond is not looking to score. He's understanding where that double team is coming from, where the rotation is coming from, who's the open man, and how he can get that ball to one of his really good shooters out on the perimeter or the dude cutting to the basket. He understands how to attack a defense where he's not thinking score. I got the ball. It's time for me to go dunk the ball or score in the paint. That was the last thing for Draymond. He was the connective piece on offense. He was a better passer than Steph. Probably the best passer on that team, them championship teams, was Draymond. because he understood the game of basketball fully and completely.
And
LP is a score first big. The only passes that he want to make is flashy passes. But just the regular correct basketball play pass, he's not interested.
come
That's
on,
why he tries to shoot. That's why he tries to score over 2 and 3 people in the paint when he clearly has somebody standing wide open in the corner for the open three. Even Fred VanVleet talked about him not wanting to pass the ball. And the one time that he ended up getting a triple double, where he had 10 assists, that's one of the first things Fred said after the game is that, man, we were so happy to see that, LP was willing to pass that ball up out the paint. Like,
uh,
bruh. So I understand, like, I understand the premise of what you're saying and what LP could be. He hasn't shown that he's that. He's not that. He's a connective piece on the offensive end where he's gonna look to get his guys involved.
but if that was the offense that they practiced in the off season, in training camp, if they practiced the offense to where LP was running the offense like Draymond, yeah, he trying to get to his shot first. If they single coverage in him, he gonna body whoever it is. If he looking to get to his shot, but if they double, he running the DHO to KD, they mixing it up. Would that make our offense more dynamic, or would it be more dynamic with Fred VanVleet bringing the ball down, pass it to KD, let KD go to work, and then if KD don't got nothing, he pass to somebody that's not LP.
Well, now the more dynamic would be between KD and Ahmed. That would
Yeah,
be the more dynamic. Like if you want to talk about DHOs and stuff like that, then you have Ahmed had a ball and let KD come off of a DHO with Ahmed, where he can hand it to KD and then draw a break to the basket. KD can throw the lob up. He can just pass it right back to him, and then let Ahmed make that connective pass.
that's
Or
that's
Ahmed can fake the handoff and then just drive to the basket and then either pass it, dish it, or dunk it.
that's a
That would
that's a,
be the
that's
more
a,
dynamic.
that's a good point. So another thing that I talked about earlier was um watching Amin over the couple of times I seen him in different workouts and stuff this summer. I've seen Amin have a you know some I just want to say unforced turnovers, like in open runs, playing the little one-on-one rehearsals with Davion Mitchell, little workouts that him and Davion were doing. And in the open run, they actually threw in the ball, bro. And you can go look this up. They threw in the ball up the court. He turned like he was finna dribble and just lost the ball. Nobody on him. He just started dribbling and just lost the ball. Amin is not ready to be a point guard. For the people who think that Amin should be, you know, our secondary point guard, tertiary point guard, or whatever the case may be, do you feel like Amin is ready to take on those responsibilities as as one of our primary ball handlers, or do you feel like it should be Fred VanVleet, KD, then LP, or do you feel like it should be Fred VanVleet, KD, and then Amin?
Yeah, it need to be Ahmed over LP. I mean, look, we don't get to see all of LP's workouts in the offseason. But LP is not training to handle the ball. He's not doing dribbling, sessions in his offseason training. He's doing mid-range shooting, corner three-point shooting, and post moves. You know what I'm saying? Taking bumps and then getting to a move or a counter, building off a move that he got. Armin is working on his handle. And so yeah, you're going to turn the ball over in basketball as a ball handler. Chris Paul does it, Halliburton does it, Shea does it. They all turn the ball over when they handling the basketball as a guard.
Not just
The
random.
thing,
Team. Come
Yeah,
on
I'm
now.
saying every last one of them is gonna have an unforced turnover, meaning, you know, the defender didn't knock it off their leg or nothing like that. You know, they just mishandled the ball, you know what I'm saying, and lost control of the ball and turned the ball over. Like, it's gonna happen, bro. The thing is that he's working on his handle. Like, I've seen the drill where he's just going up and down the court with ball handling behind it, you know, between the legs 2 times, behind the back once or twice, pass the ball to the coach, and then they give him the ball back, and he's doing it with both hands.
Right,
So
right.
he's working on his handle. It's a working process progress. This is the off season. This is the time to do it, because during the season you can't work on your handle. You can't work on, you know, I mean, they do shoot around, but to really hone in and work on your jump shot, you can't do that during the season. So this is the time for him to do it. Davion Mitchell, I saw that one-on-one that he was having with Davion Mitchell. I don't think either guy was going hard at the other one, really. You know what I'm
30%.
saying? But Davion Mitchell is a great defender.
True, true.
You know what I'm saying? He was a great defender in college. He's still a great defender. So the fact that he's going against him and Davion Mitchell is going to get the best of him, you know what I'm saying, in some of those um, competitions, especially when he's not, it's not a real game. You ain't really going at him, you know what I'm saying, to try and dog him out, or to try and really score on him. It's just working on certain aspects of their game against elite defenders. Both of them are good defenders.
Yeah,
You know
definitely,
what I'm saying? So yeah, they very different, but they're both really outstanding defenders.
yeah, definitely. When it comes down to Davion Mitchell putting pressure on you as a dribbler and you arming, and Davion Mitchell is used to holding point guards. He just like when Davion Mitchell get in his bag and try to shoot the ball, and Armin want to really D up, Davion Mitchell not getting that shot off. So yeah, I seen times where it was like I said, it was like, I'm not gonna really hold you, not gonna really hold you. Okay, this third time you get the ball, I'm gonna really hold you, and then you got to see both of them, put defense on the other one. But I totally disagree with you. Alper Shangun is a better ball handler than Amir Thompson. That's just all it is
That's
to
why.
it, bro.
That's
That's
wild, bro.
that's just all it is. Alper Shangun is a better passer and ball handler than Amir Thompson. Let's just keep it a bean. And
No,
and, and
he's not. He's not, bro. Again, I say this to you often. Often I'm noticing. Just because you say it don't make it true. He's
man,
not no mini. He's not no mini Ginobili or
big
big
Gino,
Ginobili. Yeah, he not no big Ginobili. He ain't no mini Joker. Like, he's not that.
he is,
He's not a great ball handler. And I told you this the last time. LP as a center averages more turnovers than Armin, who's a doggone Swiss Army knife.
listen, don't get me wrong. Listen, don't get me wrong. Like I said, Amir Thompson will have all-star caliber impact on this team this year. I do think I think Amir Thompson, unless Victor Wembanyama really plays plus 65 games, I think that it's going to come down to Victor or Armin for defensive player of the year this year. It's going to be one of those two guys. If it ain't Lou Dort or somebody like that, because they be wanting to give it to Lou Dort. If OKC has another great year, Lou Dort will get defensive player of the year. If Armin 2 and 2, 2 blocks and 2 steals, I think Armin can win defensive player of the year. If Victor plays 65 games, Victor Wembanyama gonna win defensive player of the year. So it's out of them three. Draymond will be in there, but I think he'll be fourth overall. I don't think he'll get it. But I think Armin can win defensive player of the year. I'm not taking nothing away from Armin Thompson. Trust me, I'm not. I also said that Armin can very well, at the trajectory he going, can push himself if he stay on the Rockets and he remain a Rocket throughout the course of his career. I think he can, be that second or third best Rocket ever. I think that. I'm a big Armin fan, a huge Armin fan. But Armin to me is Scottie Pippen, Sean Marion, something along James Worthy, something along those lines. He not he not a shooting guard. He not a guard, bro. He not a ball handler to me. He could be a point forward, but he's not a ball handler like that. He can make passes with his IQ. He can make passes because he can see over defense. He got long arm, but he's not a ball handler like that, and I don't think he'll ever be a shooter. And for people who think that from 2-3 months ago at the end of the season to preseason is going to start in September, we got 30 days. From tomorrow, from now, we got 30 days until preseason, something like that. In September when preseason start. If you think Amir Thompson has learned how to dribble and shoot in 3 months, 2 months, insane, bro. That's insane. So
No, not really. I mean, because look, let's not act like he was Jabari Smith as a ball handler. I mean, the dude did play point guard for his entire time in high school. He is used to handling the ball. The only thing it is on the NBA level is him understanding leverage and tightening up his handle a little bit. But let's not act like he can't dribble at all. So he could dribble. It's just tightening up his dribble and understanding leverage in the NBA. Shooting is a skill that is very learnable and attainable. The dude had a higher field goal percentage inside the paint than LP as a
and
guard.
his 3-point percentage went up 10 points this year. So I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
better than LP. So I'm saying that's why I say it's no way people can look at those two players and think that LP is a better player than Ahmed. Like
yes.
he's not. He's not a better player than Ahmed. He don't get the shot attempts that LP get.
LP scored
But when
45.
you talk about field goal, when you talk about being able to score in the paint, field goal percentage, impact, all of that, like he's just a better player than LP.
LP
But
scored
my
45.
point is that my point is that you could very well see him be able to establish a mid-range shot in one off season. It's just a matter of him putting in the work. And I do think that he's a hard worker. I think he's driven. I think he's hungry. And I do believe that dude is a gym rat.
Yeah.
And so he's putting in the work to be able to improve his jump shot. He understands that is his major weakness. And the fact that he's working on the two things that is his biggest weaknesses, which is ball handling and shooting, that's all the things I've been seeing him work on in the offseason. He don't have to be Steph Curry. I mean, he don't have to be Curry or Kyrie with the handle to be a guard, to be a point guard.
You better be able to dribble better than Jalen Green. I know that. If they want you to be a point guard, because people talk about Jalen couldn't be a point guard, but then they turn around and say Ahmed can be a point guard. That kills me. Like, how can you say Jalen can't be a point guard, but Ahmed can? I know Ahmed got the higher IQ, and Ahmed is a better passer, a more willing passer. But Jalen's job was to shoot. But
I ain't gonna say that neither. Even though I believe in Ahmed over LP in certain these aspects, I think the finish what we last seen from Jalen compared to what we see from Ahmed. Jalen is by far a much more passer than Ahmed has shown to be. Because Ahmed also, like LP, will try to shoot over 3 people in the paint.
True.
Like he will feel like his athleticism is going to allow him to rise above everybody else, and he will not look to pass the ball out, which is kind of disappointing because he did play point guard.
That's true.
But when he was playing point guard, the only person that he would really look to pass the ball to was his brother. I understand that they were the 2 best players on that team, and maybe you didn't trust everybody else. But now in this league, in the NBA, I would think that Ahmed would be more willing to pass the ball to these other guys on the team, being that he, probably the youngest or one of the youngest, be able to pass the ball to these other guys on his team. So he does need them improve in that area.
Okay.
Because I do think that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna ask you this question. I know I got to get you up out of here. I'm gonna ask you this question to get you up out of here because you brought up Jabari. I watched the Jabari interview today, and one of the questions they asked him was, it was like a bait question. They were like, "What is it that you worked on in the off season that's gonna help you take the next step?" Did you see that interview?
I don't
Okay.
think so.
So they asked him the question, and I think it was one of those bait questions where I was kind of like, um, you know, I hope he say I worked on my dribbling. You know what I'm saying? Because like you brought up, you know what I'm saying, I'm not a Jabari when it comes to ball handling. And so, but Jabari said, I just work hard on everything. You know what I mean? Like I don't just focus on one thing. I kind of work hard on everything that that revolves around my game. I try to do a little bit of everything. Try to work hard on everything, and I really try to hone in on the things that um that it takes for me to do my job well, which is kind of in a way saying try to make sure I can hit the threes, corner threes and stuff like that, because that's what they got me doing. And I'm not really focusing on just dribbling, but I do practice my dribbling. That's kind of what I took it as saying, because he didn't ever just say, "Hey, I know I'm not a good dribbler, so I'm working on my dribbling. I've been working on it for the past 4 years. I'm gonna continue to work on it until I get better at it." That's what I would have liked to hear him say, but he didn't say that. What do you feel about the fact that Jabari, along with some of these players like we're talking about, they got a blaring weakness in their game, could overlook the fact that that's something that you need to work on specifically, and just say, "Hey, I'm just going to work hard on, everything equally across the board." Do you feel like that's a good approach? Or he say that's what works for him, but do you feel like that's a good approach, or do you feel like a player like Jabbar should be working on, you know, for 4 years I've been in the league. I should be working on my dribbling for 4 years, and then work on it for another 3 or 4 years. And by the time I hit year 7 or 8, I can handle the ball a lot better, and it'll add to my bag. Or I'm just gonna go ahead and be a great 3 and D stretch Rashard Lewis.
Well, no, I don't necessarily like his answer. Now, I will say that he improved his dribbling from when he first came in.
Facts.
Like his handle has improved. Will he ever be, the ball handler that we would probably like him? He'll never be a KD as a ball handler. You dig what I'm saying? Like he'll never be that. He might not never even be a KG as a ball handler. But the key for him, I believe, is him being able to attack his man one on one for just one or two dribbles,
Yeah.
just to be able to create the space for him to be able to get off the shot that he wants to get to the spot that he wants to, or to be able to take one or two dribbles in where he can attack a closeout, somewhat, to get to a spot. So that's probably the only thing he really needs to do, because I don't think that at this point of his life, his career, that he's gonna be able to be the ball handler, that people would probably hope that he would have been.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. You kind of wish that he would just go into an off season and say, "I'm going to improve my handle," and do nothing but ball handling drills of being able to attack people and control the ball against pressure and all that type of thing. That's what you would wish for. But at this point, it's just being able to handle the ball enough to get to the spot he need to get to. And at that point, he can rise up and shoot it, or he can, make the defense, suck the defense in, where he could then make the correct pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Just give me just work on the Euro step.
No, he don't need no Euros. Nah, he ain't athletic enough, to be trying to do that.
No,
I don't
but
want him doing that. I think he needs a 2 to 3 dribble max.
I mean, look, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but in my mind's eye, I'm like you said, if they close out hard on you, you try to get your three off. They close out hard, and if you can just, you're not going to dribble, you don't got no bag, but if you could just take your one or two dribbles, pick that ball up, you can take your 2 steps. You're not going to take 2 steps and go straight at somebody. So if you just had the Euros where you can just boom, get them going one direction, boom, your other step going the other direction, and get to your layup, that'll make it a whole lot easier for you when they close out on you, rather than saying, "I got to take my 2 dribbles and I got to pull up from 10, I got to pull up from 13 or pull up from
That's a great
15."
shot.
It
That's a
is,
great shot for him, though.
but if you could take those same 2 dribbles and get you a Euro and get to a layup, because you can step around somebody, that's a great shot as well. It'll be something just nice.
Man,
Just something nice to
Bruh,
read.
he'll mess around and blow out his knee trying to do something like that, bro. And he not athletic enough. I don't want him trying to do nothing where he can torn his body, man. That like he long and linear and you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I don't want him doing that, contorting his knees. I don't think he athletic enough for that.
Buddy
Just
say
get to your spot and pull up.
Buddy say he was six
Let me
five.
get up. Huh?
He said he was 6'5" and couldn't dunk, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like he's not that athletic, really. You know what I'm saying? Like he long, he's athletic, but he's not. Like when we see guys with his build or height, we thinking KG, we thinking KD. You know what I'm saying? We thinking somebody who can really get busy and can jump out the gym and stuff like that. He really can't jump out the gym. It's just he's tall and he's long, so he can block some shots or bother some shots. He got good foot. He got good feet. So he can move his feet a little bit. He can slide his feet and stuff like that. But when it comes to, athleticism, like jumping out the gym, doing all these different type of moves and jumping off of one leg, and nah, bro, I don't think he could do that. And I don't want him trying it. Don't try no Euros. Don't try don't try that. Just get to your spot 10 feet. That's almost like a layup for him. Or it should be. Get
Nah.
10 feet and pull up, man. Or pass the ball, bro. I gotta
Hey,
get on up out of here, man. Salute to you, bro.
all right, man. Appreciate you stopping by, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna holler at you Sunday, man. Prime time
Already.
Sunday. Bet that.
Already. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good little chop up with King, man. You know what I mean? I know he wanted to come in here and try to defend himself, try to defend his honor or whatever, but he ain't do nothing but just make it worse on himself. You know what I mean? Because all I was doing was filling out a little strategy so I can hear what he, just get a feel for him. You know what I'm saying? Sizing him up, checking out his how he flex with his debate skill. You know what I mean? And so this what the topic gonna be on Sunday. If you missed the way in, so if you made it this far, that means you heard some of it. But if you coming in late and you want to check it out, this is what the topic gonna be. Has James Harden done enough to be the clear cut choice for the second best Rocket in history? This is what King is gonna challenge me on, and I'm gonna say no, he has not. This is the point I'm gonna take. James Harden has not done enough to be the clear cut choice for the second best Rocket in history. King's gonna try to prove to me that James Harden has clearly done enough to be the second best Rocket in history, and I'm going to basically cook him. I'm not gonna give y'all my strategy just yet, but I want y'all to know it's gonna be a great debate. So if you want to see, you know, two hard hitters debating on a high level, two different strategies. We both coming in with two different strategies. He say he done had this debate before. I kind of know what his strategy gonna be. I kind of know how his fighting style. He don't really know my fighting style. So it's gonna be a great debate, man. I really want y'all to tune in for this. Um, and we're gonna line up some of these debates. Hopefully, somebody go on here if you hear and you want to take one of those debates. You can go to the live section, or you can go on the page, and you can see those debates that we got lined up. If you want to take one of those debates, just jump in that chat. Say I want to take a debate. Send me an email at what is it? It's redalert.rockets, redalert.rocketzone@gmail.com. Um, Send me an email, and we can lock you in on one of these debates. If nobody wants to challenge you on the debate, me or King will take you up on the debate. That's just how it's gonna go down, you know. Um, or let me know if you want to call out King on a debate. If you feel like you want to debate King on one of those topics, let me know, and I put out the word, and see if he want to debate you on the topic. Now, me myself personally, any one of these debates, I'll debate whoever want to debate either side. I got my ideas on which side I'll take, and I got my idea on who's going to take want to take what side. I kind of know how people are going to lean, and I'm ready, to take on any smoke if anybody want to get cooked. I ain't got no problem with it. But as far as this debate, it's going to be Sunday. It's going to be 7 o'clock Central. It's going to be hard hitting. It's gonna be high power. It's gonna be precise. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining, and we're going to start this off, like King said, on Sunday. Football is gonna be like a little Sunday night football party for us, and we're gonna get it jumping, man. And I appreciate everybody who stopped by, anybody who came by the chat. If you come by, hit the like button. It's for the free. It's for the free. Thumbs up, thumbs down, don't matter to me. Hit the like button, man. Hit the subscribe, man. Subscribe don't cost you nothing. Subscribe don't cost you nothing. And I appreciate it, man. We're gonna, the subscribe is gonna keep this channel up and going, and it's gonna, bring in more eyes so we can have more heated conversations, more entertaining and you know, just better conversations overall. So I appreciate everybody that come through, and all the people who didn't catch the show tonight. All my regulars. My boy Mo. Shout out to Mo, man. Mo being consistent. Appreciate him. Um, also, also impressive arts. We appreciate impressive arts for stopping by. You know, impressive arts for tripping in the chat tonight. We appreciate that. That's a good look. Um, Don't be trying to hype up King. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get that boy cooked, man. You don't hype him up like that. You know what I'm saying? He get a couple of people hyping him up. He really think he got a chance. It's just wishful thinking. It's just wishful thinking. And as you know, I am your host, and you have been warned. Stay on red alert. So Sunday night at 7, tap in, turn on, stay lit. Rockets, red alert, signing off. Thank you for joining.